Should I put these on?
Yeah. Have you? Is this your first pod?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I've been interviewed before, but on the cage, nothing
Yeah.
like crazy.
Go ahead and talk, Curry.
Check.
This is the first. It's because this is the first time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Is it clear from here?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, this is the first time we have a third mic. So like he's been helping out with the pod. I would say like he first came around, like we did a pod together. I think it was like one of the earliest episodes.
Yeah.
And then I would say like not a few months. It was probably like the summer, maybe like June or July.
Yeah.
Where he started coming around more and just kind of helping me out. And then, but yeah, we've been talking about like just trying to be on at the same time, but it's just like a small space, bro.
Yeah.
So my mom actually got me this mic, and I was like, bro, we can just utilize this even if we don't have a camera. Like if you listen to the audio, you can still hear him.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna work. Maybe we'll set up a camera like just pointing that way one of these days. We'll see how it works out. But yeah, bro, how's it going?
Cool. It's not bad at all, man. I like this, man.
Yeah,
I can get used to this for sure.
What you been up to today?
Today, I start my days pretty early. If I'm being honest, I start them like around 5:30 sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
And
have you always been like an early riser like that, or
nah, dude. I started getting like a bit more into the habit when I was in high school for wrestling, because I don't know, dude. I remember my coach was like, "Yo, if you want to win, you have to wake up early." I'm like, "For what?" You know, like I want to enjoy my sleep.
Yeah.
I'm a senior in high school and stuff, but that's when I started taking wrestling more serious.
Mm-hmm.
So then he just put that, like I guess mentality in me, and ever since then, I just enjoy like waking up a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I get ahead of my day, So today I woke up early, and then besides my 8 to 5 job, I told you this before, like I have an 8 to 5 job. I do like clients, like personal trainings and stuff, just to help out the community.
Yeah.
And I did it. I did my PT when I work, 8 to 5. Then I also got a haircut in between my lunch break, so I gotta look good for this podcast,
bro. Yeah.
Thank
Who's your barber?
It's one of my homies. His name is AB. Oh, I call him AB, but he's good for AB Blends.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He gets me good, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to have long hair, but when I cut it off, he was like, "Dude, are you sure?" And
it's just clean, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you went to El Paso High, right?
Yeah.
That's right. And what year did you graduate?
2020.
2020. So we graduated 18. So what? You're 20. You're 22.
21.
21.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
July 1st.
July 1st.
Yeah.
So
2002.
Yeah. Damn, that's dope, bro. So just a little introduction.
Yeah.
We're sitting down with Victor Santillan.
Yeah. Hey.
Got you, bro. Hey, my Spanish isn't all there, but like pronunciations, bro, it's not bad.
It's gotten a little better, bro.
Right? But anyways, so we're sitting. It's episode 32.
Dang, dude. Congrats.
Appreciate you, bro. I feel like once you get in the high numbers, it's like every episode's like, damn, like good shit.
Every episode is an accomplishment at this point.
Yeah, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Santillan, MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Would you say it's like, is it considered pro yet or amateur? Or like how does it work?
So I'm still an amateur,
Mm-hmm.
but for example, going pro, a lot of people can go pro right now. It's just like you just sign a contract and you're like, all right, you're considered pro. But you have to have like certain qualifications to. All right, you have to have certain fights. Obviously, you won't. I think there is cases where people just put like 0-0 fighters like that have never fought straight into pro, and like it's a risky move because once you go pro, that record is everything for you. Like it's your career making or your downfall. For example, this is the best example I can put. It's like you go pro and you're 0-5, 0-6. That's already like a good record to even make it to the UFC. 1-4, 1-3, that's when it starts getting iffy. Obviously you can do like a bounce back, like get a winning streak again and all, but it's a little bit more risky because your body's like one of the
taking damage and stuff.
Exactly. So still an amateur. I'm 4-1. I'll be 5-1 on March 30.
March 30th.
Yeah.
Hey, so that's coming up in what, like three weeks.
Yeah.
So you've been getting ready for that. Where can people watch that if they're gonna tune into that?
I'm gonna stream it in my Instagram. I'm gonna go live, but it's because the thing is, it's a pretty smart promoter where I fight. He does not do any type of like what's it called, for people to see it, so people can actually go.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not that far. It's at Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So it's like a 3-hour drive, but still, like people drive and stuff. So he wants to make money but I just stream it, you know, like, and it's weird because I've never thought about it because, I mean, you know, still up to this degree, like, I get nervous, but not of losing, just of, like, looking weird, you know, like, people are, like, sometimes even, like, when I introduce myself, people are like, you fight, you know, and, like, it's something that, like, people get amazed by, but also, like, kind of, like, weird out, which is kind of weird, but, yeah, I'm gonna go live, you know, and yeah, so people can see it and enjoy the show.
I was telling him about it. We should try to pull up, bro. That should be fun. That'd be my first like MMA fight that I've seen. Yeah, that'd be badass, bro.
Yeah, dude, that'd be cool, man. Funny story. The first MMA fight I saw was the one I was actually gonna fight in.
Really?
Yeah, and it was scary. It was scary because I remember sitting backstage and I saw this dude like hyping each other up. I was like, damn, like, because I used to wrestle, obviously, I've said that before, but I used to wrestle and I was like, okay, cool, let's do this, you know, like, more gentle and nothing too crazy, you know, but he's like crazy dude, like, he's hitting himself and stuff, and I was like, all right, cool. I mean, to each their own, but he comes back and he's all busted up, like, blood out, you know, gashes and stuff. I was like, damn, this is real, you know, like, and I've never seen somebody that hurt, like, in a very controlled space, you know. Obviously when you're out in the street you see some stuff and you're like, I mean, shit, but there I was like, damn,
that shit's
like,
real.
It's real, you know. And I was like, that could have been me. But then I was like, but what if I was the other guy too, you know?
For sure.
That could have been me too, you know?
Thankfully, bro, like, just from looking at you, like, hey, you call yourself Wapple, right, bro? So well, I mean,
I don't call myself.
Okay, people call you Wapple. Call me, I mean, you got that nickname for a reason. Like, you haven't took, I mean, knock on wood, bro, but like, you've been fortunate enough, like, you haven't taken like crazy damage, right? I mean, just by like, like, just like bruises and stuff. But I did break my nose, and it was my second fight where I broke my nose, and it was crazy because obviously, like, you had these fights in middle school, high school, you know, like, just like here and there, but I that was my first time I was actually like hurt, you know, like, I saw my own blood and I was like, all right, cool. Because it's very hard for me to bleed as well, you know, and even when I'm sparring and stuff, just a little like drop, and I was like, it's okay, dude, like, don't worry about it. But then I was just like gashing out blood, you know. And while you were fighting, right? Yeah.
Well, also, I broke my nose and the ref stopped it, and up to this day, I don't believe it was an early stoppage, but my coach was like, maybe just like a little bit more, you know, like, it could have been continued. But I'm glad he stopped it because, I mean, I was in a vulnerable position, and it's up on YouTube, you know. I'm not scared of it, you know. I was like, you're gonna win and lose in the sport, you know, regardless. But obviously, like, the goal is just to go out there and do your best. But blood was gashing out, and the ref stopped it because he thought I was cut. You know, he thought I was like hurt, and then I was like, they cleaned me up, and I was good, dude. My nose was just a little like crooked, and then he was like, damn. And I was like, yep, damn is the right answer, because like, he knew I wasn't hurt.
He was basically saying like, damn, I shouldn't have stopped it.
Like, he was like, and even the doctor, he's like, are you hurt or are you pissed off? I was like, dude, I'm just fucking pissed off, you know, like, please. And then she kept checking on me. I was like, no, I'm good, it's just my nose. And yeah, dude, like, I kid you not, like, my nose like just moves all over the place now, and like cartilage is all messed up, and but yeah, rather than that, my face, this, and
did you have to get like surgery, or you just fucking like put it back?
No, so it never, I say, never properly healed, because sometimes I even have like, sometimes I have
problems breathing.
Yeah, breathing. Yeah. So like, it just like, sometimes it clogs up, or sometimes it's weird, like on moco, you know, like, it's weird. But even when I spar, sometimes it actually feels good, sometimes it feels bad. But even up to this day, I still have small problems, but I know once I get some good bread of this sport, you know, and make it big, I'm gonna just get it fixed.
Just get it fixed, yeah. That's dope, bro. We'll definitely get more into that.
For sure.
Just a little intro to the other person. Oh. You won't see him on the camera yet, but it's James Curry, who you guys all love and know. What's up, bro?
What up?
So it's your first time, basically, like, not, obviously you're not a guest, but like, you're officially like kind of a host in this way, just not on the camera yet.
I'm just here for participation.
Oh yeah, bro. But yeah, so we've been friends for shit, bro, since like what, fucking,
bro, at least 18 years, like,
like
crazy
for a minute. Yeah. Like we started playing like football with each other, and then basketball, and then like we never went to school with each other, but we were just always at each other's houses and everything. And then we finally went to high school actually together.
Oh, that's dope.
But yeah, we've been super close ever since, bro.
Dang.
So, yeah, man. If you have any questions, bro, I mean, you're for sure.
I'll cut in.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. So when did you? So you officially started, like, you were basically doing martial arts your entire life, right?
Yeah.
So how'd you get into that?
So funny story as well. Like, man, like this life is crazy. You know, like the things that I like kind of like been pushed through as like, man, I really didn't want it, you know, because even like fighting, I was always like a very timid kid growing up. For my family, my sister, my dad were the fighters, you know, like they had very short tempers and stuff. So I was like, all right, cool, like I will be just in the sideline, you know, supporting. But when I was 3, I mean, obviously I don't remember, you know, but it's been stories that my parents tell me all the time. I was 3. And in order to fight, well, my dad was a taekwondo coach at the time. Well, he still is, but in Juarez, we used to train in this little facility over there. But I was 3, and in order to fight over there, you need to be 5 years old, you know. And one day, I'm pretty sure I was eating my bean and cheese burrito, and I was like, you know what? I told my dad, I was like, I think I can beat him. And then my dad was like, all right, let's do it. So I was like, oh, really? All right, cool. And I was like playing it chill, you know, little kid, you know, mocoso, you know, just like, I want to fight him, you know. And I was like, all right, cool. So my dad set everything up. Obviously, he was a coach, so he can like move stuff around and stuff. So we did an exhibition fight. And the only thing, because my dad was there, my grandpa was there, and they're like, man, like, all right, you know, just do it for fun. And no, dude, I did good. I was like, you know, like, in other words, like whooping this kid's ass, you know.
Yeah. So you had already been like kind of practicing and training a little bit.
No, dude, I wasn't practicing at all. It was just because of like I saw it, and then I was like, I can do that.
Oh wow.
You know, and I was like, I told my dad, I was like, I can do it better. So then I started training ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was Taekwondo to start off.
Yeah. And it's a very gentle sport. You know, obviously you have all this gear. You have like the headgear, and then you have your shin the shin things. Oh, I forget the
shin pads.
Yeah, I guess you can call it that. But yeah, dude, it was cool. That's how I started, and then ever since then, I continued. And
yeah, wow. So one thing I heard with, like, obviously I've never done MMA, but I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, and he has a bunch of MMA fighters, bro. So just from what I heard, it's like if you start off at an early age, your body is just like so much more. What's the word? Like, first of all, flexible, but you can just do a lot more as a kid, and if you grow up already like practicing those motions, like having leg dexterity, I think is what they call it, right? Yeah. It just becomes a lot easier, like as opposed to starting when you're an adult. So you kind of already, you're probably like really fortunate that you're able to start at such a young age, right?
Exactly. And it's also, I'm thankful enough for like my parents to push me too, because man, like I was a little chunky before when I was little too.
Really?
You know, like obviously like every little Mexican kid, you know, you grow up chunky, you know, eating rice and beans, and my family pressured me a lot, because like, you know, it's like it was a little bit of tough love, because even I got bullied, you know, in high school, but even knowing like my family bullied me a little bit, it was like, all right, cool, you know, I got to get my shit together. So even starting like martial arts at a young age, and I stopped when I was like 6, because we moved to El Paso. Obviously we used to live in Juarez, and I started like getting back into Taekwondo, and then I stopped when I was 13, and I got the black belt, and I went to wrestling because, you know, I wanted something more. And like you said, like when I was a young age, like being in martial arts, you always like, you crave some sort of adrenaline, you know, and like obviously like playing soccer was fun, playing football was fun, but it's just not the same as like an aggressive sport, knowing that you beat somebody, you know, and it's like, it's something different, you know, it's something knowing that like I did that and I know I can do better, so let's just get back to the lab, you know.
And you also have like full control over how you perform.
Exactly. As
opposed to like a team sport, like you can have a lot of control, but at the same time there's a lot of other factors when there's like other people involved, you know.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of other factors in fighting too, but for the most part, like you control how much you train, you control how much you prepare for the fight, and essentially it's kind of all on you, like how you perform. So I'm sure that can be like pretty, I mean, essentially it's a lot of pressure, but at the same time it's liberating too, because like you know that you did this, you know, yourself. That's pretty dope, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so you got into wrestling, and how about like growing up, did you, because you don't strike me as like a very like aggressive dude, bro. Like if I were to just meet you, bro, you're like so chill, you're just so mellowed out. And like, is that how you think your natural personality, or like, do you feel like you have like actually like maybe some pent up like just aggression and anger that comes out?
A lot of people, like I'm pretty sure you've seen these memes. Like every time I get mad, I see red.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, all right, man, good for you. But at the end of the day, it's like I had a lot of like emotions when I was little, and they were all based off like anger or just because I got bullied, So I was like, man, I'm like pissed off, but I know if I fight, my dad will be mad at me, because like he told me very strictly, like, you can only fight when somebody like either like you're like in danger or you have to fight. So I was like, all right,
but
cool.
You knew you can beat these kids' ass.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
But like talking didn't fit the description my dad put, so I was like, I can't beat them up, like if not, like my dad's gonna like get mad at me or whatever. But the day came and this kid tried to be all like all tough and stuff.
How old were you?
I'm pretty sure I was like 10, 11.
And none of these kids knew you fucking trained quite taekwondo your whole life?
Little like chunky kid. But that's the weird part. Like even though I trained like taekwondo, it's all kicks, it's kind of like karate,
Yeah.
Dude, I knocked him out with my hands.
Holy shit,
Like I just like boom. And then I remember like being in the playground and just like looking at myself. I was like, damn, I can do that too. That's crazy, Like I just didn't know, like I didn't know what I was capable of.
It's like you look like those movies where you just like look at your hands.
Yeah, and I have all this power, it's crazy. And
you're just standing over him. Yeah, I'm all
Man, I don't think I was even like learning how to cuss at that point. Like that's how young I was, and I was very innocent, dude. I grew up very innocent, and thank God I grew up with a good family, good morals. And so that being said, I learned how to control my anger, and I knew that knowing when to apply it and how to apply it will get me farther in life. And I didn't know about MMA at this point. I just knew like, all right, cool, like people call it flipping the switch. And I'm a great believer in that because if you're on all the time, like if you flip the switch and you're always mad and stuff, you're not going to get far. Like you're not going to get far and you're just fighting with emotions rather than when you flip the switch. Yes, you're fighting like not angry, but you're fighting. Like for me, I describe it like I'm fighting very passionately. I'm fighting with like the courage of like, I have the ability to do this. Like a lot of people don't walk the cage. They don't walk up to the millions of people who, maybe there's only 4,000 people watching here, but you post it, you don't know how many people will watch it, And I'm here to make a statement. And the statement is like, I don't want to be a champ in whatever division. I don't want to be a millionaire, Obviously, that will come. I know it will. But my main goal is to become the best fighter I could ever be, And I know with that being said, everything will come like along,
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, bro, my bad. I don't mean to
go for it, dude.
I think the camera, like, it just cut off, bro, low-key.
Bro?
Yeah.
Man, imagine if he wasn't here and we just kept talking. Damn, dude.
And I don't think
that's a sign.
Has that happened, bro? With the camera?
Not with the camera.
Yeah, not with the camera.
Dang.
But we've lost podcasts before, not like that.
Oh, it's that.
Yeah. So
that sucks. One of them was
technology,
on
bro.
Our episode.
No way.
Yeah, our first episode.
Dang.
It's all right. We'll get some more good shit, bro. I know it's
good. I'm always gonna be here, man.
Yeah.
I always put something. I always got something.
What was I gonna? Oh, so do you feel like just growing up fighting, or because I hear a lot of people say like once you start training and learning how to fight, like it helps you build like confidence. Do you think that's a true thing?
It is, but it's also a very like harmful thing you can actually do to yourself, only because egos, man. Your ego is one of the biggest challenges that you have to like control. Because yes, obviously, like knocking somebody out and stuff, your ego just gets bigger and bigger, But it's the difference between being cocky and being confident. You have to find that, because eventually, like, confidence means, for me personally, I mean, a lot of people have a different definition, but for me, it's like, I know I can walk up to somebody and just start talking, kind of like I did with you. I know I can present myself. I know I have good morals and good values that, I'm able to provide, and I'm also able to learn, rather than just being like, I'm too good to even talk to somebody. Like, that's not good, dude.
For sure.
But it's cool, man.
Yeah. That's I think it's just like, once you learn how to fight, I feel like you're not, at least from my perspective, like, there's nothing you feel like you have to prove, you know?
Exactly.
Because you could defend yourself. Obviously, like, you're not doing it because you want to fucking beat somebody's ass. But you just feel like if, like, any situation, you feel like you're not always going to be, like, safe. Like, some things can go wrong. But, you know, like, you're prepared for it, you know?
Exactly.
So I can definitely see that. So you started wrestling in high school, right? Mm-hmm. When did you, like, first make that transition? Like, all right, I'm going to take this step into MMA.
So I actually started wrestling in middle school. I forget.
Oh, shit,
yeah. But it's funny enough because in middle school they didn't have a program, and man, like yo de chavalo, you know, like I always wanted to see that adrenaline, you know, and I remember being in middle school, and I mean, obviously, if you know where El Paso High is, the middle school's not that far away. It's like 2 miles away, Wiggs Middle School, and I remember I used to walk every time to El Paso High to wrestle these high schoolers, and I got my like ass whooped every day, you know, I did. At a young age, and I used to wrestle like seniors, and I was barely like in 8th grade, you know, and it was discouraging, you know, especially knowing that like, you know, like I can't do nothing. But then it was like kind of like planting a seed, you know, and I was just waiting for it to grow until the point I am today. Because even I was thinking about it driving over here, I was like, it's a blessing to even have the doors open like this, you know, to this extent, like of knowing you, and like it's crazy how like if you just, you know, water that seed every day, it's gonna grow, you know, and it's been very blissful, you know, and being in high school wrestling, I never thought it would go this far. And because I'll tell you straight up, like I didn't win a single match in wrestling all the way till I was a junior.
Wow.
Yeah, junior, sophomore. And sophomore or freshman year, I remember my record was like 0-19.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 0-19, and like everybody would be like, this kid is this like this scrub, you know, like you're not gonna even like, you know, don't sweat it. Sophomore year, I was, I believe, 3 and whatever, how many losses I got, you know. And then junior year, I remember I was even. I was like 11-11, 12-12, something around that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I was like, I started picking it up, you know.
Yeah.
Senior year, I believe I was 32-3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro. And what do you think that was? What do you think that was attributed to? Like, you just your constant improvement.
Exactly, and like I just put in the work, you know, and like you know, senior year is when I started like, you know, watching my body change as well. You know, I started getting more muscular, and then I started getting more like, you know, like confidence, like you said. But it wasn't confidence like to prove people, but within myself. You know, I was like, all right, cool. You know, like you're putting in this work, and I better see something like come out of this. You know, like I'm killing myself every day, and one season came around, I mean, it was easy, you know, like I kept resting and stuff, but then I realized I was keeping up with my physical, but not with my mental health, you know, and I remember by the end of senior year, I was just like tired, you know, and I was like, I don't like the sport no more. And it was weird because eventually I was going to wrestle for college, and I said, I don't like the sport no more, and I don't know what happened, but I was top 10 in the state, you know, I was ready to go to state, but then I went 1-2, which means like I won once and lost twice at regionals, and that was out, and that was it, you know. And I was like, oh snap, like this is it, you know, this is the end of my career. And that's when I learned like my mentality wasn't good, because eventually like high school was over, and it was like during COVID, so I didn't have like no guidance whatsoever, like what's next, you know. Like I had to learn how to, like, obviously like nowadays it's so easy, but before I was freaking out, like sign up for college and like what to get. And thankfully my sister was kind of like guiding me a little bit, but even then I was like, man, like I don't know what to do, like I'm lost, you know, like no faith, no mentality, just eject the body, you know. And I was like, this is not it. So I went deep, you know, deep within.
What exactly were you feeling like at that time, would you say? Like when you think like, just during that time of feeling lost, like were you anxious?
I wasn't anxious. I was mostly like.
Just depressed type thing? Depressed
for sure, but like also like angry, you know. I was angry at myself mostly, not at the world. Because even though, man, like I tell myself, like even though I'm so pissed off, I cannot be angry at the world, you know, like I'm the one who put myself in this situation. Like if I'm being honest, like even I got over it already, you know, but it took me like a year, you know, because I have 2 of my friends wrestling in Nebraska, and that's where I was gonna, York, Nebraska, actually.
Oh, wow.
I was going to wrestle out there, and I got offers from this D2 college from Chicago, and it was going to be good, man. Like, it was going to be a very nice, like, journey, but I just gave it all up, and I knew it was up to me. You know, it was all up to me. So I was like, all right, cool. Now you have to own up to it. So I would probably say I was feeling very, like, not only lost, but also, like, empty.
Yeah.
I was feeling very empty. And that being said, like, empty within myself, you know, like, and my family saw it, and my family didn't know what to do because, you know, my sister wrestled as well, but she didn't take it that serious, you know, like, she just wrestled for the fun of it. My dad was going to go to the Olympics for Taekwondo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But he had, like, his family, you know, with my sister and stuff. He was young when he had my sister. He was 21 and my mom was 20. So then, like, that dream, he just had to switch up his priorities, you know. But me, I'm the one who's, like, carrying the torch in a sense.
Yeah.
You know? So nobody knew what to do or what to say, rather than just like, hey, we're here for you. Yeah. And that's all I needed.
Yeah. So you chose not to take those offers, basically, just because you had fallen out.
I was pissed off, man. Yeah. I was pissed off.
Yeah. So essentially, you just had a bad taste in your mouth from
just losing. Yeah.
Damn, that's kind of like, I could kind of relate to that, bro.
Talk to me. What's up?
Like, it was for, honestly, basketball, because like we it was like a similar thing. I'm sure you felt like when you lost, like you felt like you could have done a lot more.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And that's how it felt, bro. Like when we had lost that, because we were pretty good, bro. Like we had intentions of the same thing. Like we wanted to at least make it to the state tournament, which is like the Final Four.
Dang.
Because we were like, Andres was always like really good at basketball, and we talk about this shit all the time.
Dang.
We had a good run, like when we were there from freshman onto senior year. Like we were just, that was a school to like be at for basketball, you know. And we lost our senior year. Like we were up by 20. And we at halftime, bro, and we blew a lead, bro.
Dang.
Yeah, and it was just
look at this, man.
Yeah.
You knew. Yeah.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
All right, bet. If it's not, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, this could be out. Nah, just kidding. No, but crazy. So we lost that game, and honestly, bro, like I felt really like, honestly, like I struggled for a while after that game, bro, and it's. Like losing is one thing, but it was just the way it played out. Like you feel like you'd put in so much work up to that, like your entire life almost, bro. Like granted, it's high school basketball, but it's just that's your entire life up until then, bro. So it's just like you lose it, and it's like, yeah, I had some offers to play, and I could have taken those opportunities, but for whatever reason at that moment I was like, it felt like I just felt like a bad, like, yeah, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. And not that I didn't love basketball, but it almost had like, it felt like that. And I don't know what it was like, but it definitely, for a while I remember being really sad. Like not even just after the game, but it was like for months I was just like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like that shit. So I could definitely relate to that, bro.
It kind of feels like you don't deserve it. That's how I felt. You know, like I feel like there's a lot of people, like, how could I be beat twice back to back and still wrestle at college? You know, that's what I kept asking myself. And I was like, cool. And it all started with like how I viewed myself, you know, like my mentality and stuff. It was like I saw Victor as a wrestler, and that's it. I didn't see him as a hardworking guy. I didn't see him as a, you know, waking up early and going to sleep late. I just saw him as a wrestler. So when I didn't have that wrestling no more, I just saw Victor, you know, as it is. And I feel like having that accountability of just saying like, hey man, like this ain't you no more. Like what are you gonna do about it? Yeah, you know. And that's when MMA started.
Yeah. So you just how does one just simply say I'm gonna do MMA? Like what are the steps like you took?
Man, so I had a punching bag, and I remember telling myself I'm gonna run 5 miles every day, because it was COVID, you know, like you could do whatever you want, just sign up online and then you'll be good for school. So I remember I started working at Chipotle at the time, and
fuck yeah, I love Chipotle. Man,
I miss that job, man. Yeah. And I like to cook. That's a thing too. Yeah. So I've experienced I learned a lot about myself in COVID. You know, a lot of people see COVID like, oh, it was something bad. It was, I mean, obviously it was tragic, but at the end of the day, it was also very helpful to realize, like, first of all, like, how are we so fucking close, like, in lines, you know, like, that I love that 5 foot, like, 5 feet and stuff. But I was like, it was just because, like, man, like, it's crazy how, like, we just switched everything around, like, how we used to live. And that's how I felt, you know. I switched everything, like, how I used to, like, live, you know. So one day I just woke up and I told myself, all right, if I want to be a fighter, we got to make a plan, you know, just like anything, you know, just make it like blueprint, and over the time we'll switch it up, but it always is the same. You either get up early, work, and go to sleep late. So I started hitting the punching bag, you know, and then I started knowing like how to combine my punches with my wrestling and stuff. And
without a coach?
Yeah, dude, kind of like just like freestyling it in a sense, and it looked ugly, you know, like it looked ugly, and I thought I looked good. Yeah. So it was weird, like me posting and be like, yeah, you know, like this is cool. And I used to have like a little like, it was called Vic in the Gym. You know, a lot of people used to follow it, and honestly, like I just did it for the hype of it, just so people can see that I'm working. But it was cool because like even people like that I didn't know were like, hey man, like that's cool, you know, like how are you doing this and stuff. And my dad is pretty stocky, so he taught me how to do the weights, but he never taught me how to fight. Obviously we just like kicks and stuff, but not really like MMA wise. Yeah. But then I started like reaching out and stuff to people, and one of my quote unquote coaches, but also like training partners, I sent him a text because I saw he was doing MMA, and I went to my first MMA school, which was Zen martial arts. And man, like ever since then, everything just boom. Like it was kind of like a bomb. Because it all spread out, you know, like I learned like new connections. I didn't even know nothing about jiu-jitsu up till I entered those doors, you know, and I started like training. And I remember one of my first practices, I was just like taking people down like nothing, you know, but my striking wasn't there, so I was getting choked out every time. Yeah. And I was like, damn. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. So it's still really good to have that wrestling in your back pocket. Definitely, dude. But definitely. With wrestlers, like once you get to the ground, the jiu-jitsu dudes will probably like just tear you apart, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I had to learn like my advantages and my like disadvantages. I was like, all right, cool. I know how to take people down, and I know how to strike a little bit. Now jiu-jitsu, I don't know that much, so I started working on that. And thankfully, Mando, which is the owner of Zen, he helped me out a lot, man. He helped me out significantly, and I don't know, man. Like I have a special place for that man in my heart, because man, he helped me out a lot. Because like you said, like I was going through a depression, and I didn't know it was that serious until I went there. Because I remember taking Trans Mountain, you know, every time, because I used to live in the Northeast, you know. And every single time I felt lost and stuff, and like every single time I felt like my wrestling like feeling like of just like not being good enough came back. It's just like it drove me insane, dude. It drove me insane, you know. And I remember going through that mountain and telling my one day I was like, I'm not gonna do it, you know, like because obviously like you can just go straight, you know, like and just end it, you know. Wow. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it, dude. Like I need to be stronger. But the temptation was always there to just like end everything, you know, like just. But that man, he's crazy. He's crazier than me for sure. But he was like, if you haven't tried to end your life once, you're not living at all, you know. Damn. And I was like, you're right, you know, like because eventually like. The self-discipline, the self-respect, all of that. I mean, you're technically killing yourself. You know, you're killing yourself, putting hours of pain in your back pocket by waking up early and sleep deprived. You know, you're hurting yourself. But at the end of the day, you're also like, you're living a life that most people aren't even like doing. So I was like, yeah, you know, like I've came all the way rock bottom where like I was like just done. But funny enough, up to this day, I feel like I've been through a lot worse. And I was like, man, I look back and I actually laugh at myself. I was like, how could I be very mentally weak? You know? So it was fun. So that was my first MMA gym that I trained. And I remember I was going to quit by the third week again because I got rocked like hard, dude. And it was
so you already sparring 3 weeks in?
Yeah. So my wrestling was like kind of like showing that all right, he knows how to fight, right? But I didn't at all, you know. I didn't have a proper striking coach, I didn't have a jiu-jitsu coach. So I started sparring, and I just, you know, I was like, all right, cool, let's just get it over, you know, like let's just fight. And funny enough, the guy that I reached out is the guy that I sparred first. And he almost knocked me out, dude. and I was pissed.
So he wasn't even like he knew you were like barely into the sport, right?
Exactly.
And so he was just like, fuck it,
like put it all on the table, and I was like, all right, cool. And I remember just being in the floor, taking punches back to back, and I was like, all right, cool. So somehow I learned how to get up, and I took him down. And I remember we were both standing, and I just did like an overhand, which is like just a punch, but over the guard, somebody's guard.
Yeah.
And it connected. And I didn't know nothing about that. And I was like, oh, snap. Like I hit him. Yeah. You know, like deep down, I was like, damn, after all that, I can still hit somebody, you know, and I can still get back up. And that's when I slowly started erasing my past. Well, it's not erasing it, but I started like getting rid of that feeling of that sour taste and just be like, hey, like, don't replace that taste or that feeling. Just make sure you remember that and never go back to it again. You know, so I started like building myself back up, you know, from square one, and it was a whole different sport. Yeah. And
do you when you get rocked the first time, like, does it, like, I'm sure it fucking sucks, but like after you like, all right, it happened, so I can just get it out of the way, like, is that, I mean, I'm sure it sucks every time, but like, is that what it feels like you just, all right, like, this is what it feels like to get fucking hit? It's
weird, man. Like, I took at least 6 months to stop flinching, you know, because even when I fought in taekwondo and stuff, I didn't get hit, you know. I was just fast in and out, you know. I'll try to finish my fights as soon as possible just so I don't take that much damage. And you know, getting rocked and knowing that you got hurt, it's just like, cool. Like, you're in this mental space that you're like, all right, cool, what am I supposed to do? What did I do wrong? But you have like 3 seconds to think, and then you're like, hey, like, he's attacking you still. You know, like, you have to catch up, you know, you have to be in the pace. And that's when, like, when I'm pretty sure you've seen UFC fights, right?
Yeah.
And like commentators like Joe Rogan and all those like people, they know their stuff, because eventually, like, they say something and it's true. Once a fighter gets its pace, it's done. Because eventually, like, you can get hit with anything and you're still gonna win. Yeah. And I kind of like felt that way 2 fights ago. And I got rocked and I got dropped and I got slammed within the span of 30 seconds, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I posted it. You know, I posted it. I was like, you know what? People can see I was deep down. You know, I was at deep waters, but I had a pace. I was like, cool. You know, I got slammed in front of my family, you know, and in front of everybody that I don't know and I love. I was like, all right, cool. I had to learn a way to get back up. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. It's going to be hurtful. But I was like, all right, cool. I got to get my pace back. And I did. And
so are you actively talking to yourself, like, during the, like, are you you have a self-talk during the fight?
Dude, it's funny because when I fight, I kind of feel like I'm in autopilot, you know? Like, it's just like, cool, this is what I practice and this is what I'm going to do. But eventually, once I'm in the cage, everything's, like, on the table as well, you know? Like, you just do what it feels right, you know? Like, you're like, all right, cool, this is there, let's do it. And then, but it's like milliseconds, you know? It's not even a second. It's like, I see it, boom. You know, it's kind of like a reaction game.
So you're not even thinking, really. It's just, you prepared for it, and it's like, it's automatic at that point.
Exactly. And it's cool because, like, I enjoy it. Like, it's like the best way I can describe it is like I'm inside my own head and my body's just doing whatever it wants. You know, like, I like a little mini Victor going inside my head and just like, all right, cool, just watching the fight, eating popcorn, you know, and I'm out there like getting hurt, getting punched, but also doing the damage. And it's fun because eventually, like, I feel like that's what fighting should be, you know, like, it should be enjoyable. If you're doing it because of hate or because of anger or because of the money, man, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you know?
Do you even feel the damage? And like, do you have so much adrenaline, or do you actually feel the damage that's going on?
Crazy. So one time I threw up because I had too much adrenaline.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so we'll get into that, but
crazy.
This is fucking crazy. Yeah. What does it feel like? Like, take me, all right, you have a fight. Let's just say it's your first fight, your first official MMA fight in front of a crowd. What's that like walk out like from like the locker room to the cage, and like just take me through what's going through your head and what you're feeling, and like once you step into the octagon? Crazy.
So to fight, you have to check in like hours even before the event starts, only so you can start getting ready, obviously, with your reps, you know, and also like people monitor you so you don't take any caffeine, any type of drugs and stuff. And
you can't take caffeine? Really?
Nothing, dude. It's all pure adrenaline. And no caffeinated drinks, not even electrolytes, because it has this B12 substance, which is like banned because it provides some sort of energy or something. but just water, you know, and maybe some snacks. Some promotions don't even let you take snacks, so that's why you have to eat good.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, all right, cool, it's gonna be a long night. Especially because even since the beginning, I was like one of the. I remember I have never been like the first 5 fights. I've always been either the 6th all the way to the last. And I had the opportunities to be even co-main events sometimes, and you know, it was just a long day, dude, just waiting back there. So a lot of people think it's weird, but I take a nap. You know, I take a nap backstage. You know, I'm chilling. You know, the first fight I wasn't. You know, I was all nervous and stuff, obviously, because it's like, for me, I had to sit down with the idea before I even get in a fight to be like, okay, cool, I'm getting in there to get punched. You know, like regardless of what it is, you know, like maybe it's going to be like one of those fights that you just knock him out in 5 seconds, but it's rare that happens, you know? So I was like, all right, cool, I'm there to get punched, and I know I'm going to get hurt, but I know that I'm going to go out there and try my best, and, you know, if God gives me the win, he will give me the win, you know, simple as that. So I'm backstage, I'm just like chilling, talking to my coaches, you know, I'm just like, I don't try not to be much on my phone, you know, especially because like, even when I'm not fighting, you know, I just don't try to, because like it or not, just watching something will switch up your perspective without even knowing, you know, like, and like, funny enough, like I deleted a lot of apps like TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. I just have Instagram just to promote myself in a sense, but I noticed like sometimes even just watching something will be like, all right, cool, like, what am I wasting my time for? You know, so it's funny. But yeah, I just listen to podcasts. I'll probably listen to some of your podcasts. You know, I'm just like, I'm just there, man. Like, I'm always like a sucker for like a story and stuff. So I'll be chilling, and then promoter calls up like, hey man, you're on deck, which is like 3 fights or 2 fights before. Wow. And then professionally, you have your own space. You know, you have your own little room. But right now, you know, you bumped in with all like the blue corner, and then there's a red corner, and then there's like a divider in between. Yeah. And obviously, so you don't see your opponent. You know, but I don't mind it, dude. Like honestly, like with my opponents, like I don't try to be a dick until it's day of, because eventually, like, you have to present yourself as somebody like, hey man, like even though I might not even know you. You know, even though I might not even not like you, maybe I do. You know, you're a cool guy, you know, and stuff. But you're in the way of my goal, you know. So I'm gonna have to do something about it, you know. And like, it sucks, you know. It sucks saying that to, because like I was telling him, like last fight I fought somebody that I knew, you know, and he was one of my homies over there in Arizona, and I didn't want to fight him. I even told him, I was like, yo, let's just wait for another opponent, you know, because he's cool, man. He's cool. He opened the doors to his gym a lot. And we talked it out. And it's funny because the fight that I lost, and my only loss, I met him there. And he was chill, man. He was like, hey, man, keep your head up and stuff. Funny enough, we were both going to fight each other. And then, you know, it's just like, it switches up everything. So they just separate us in the backstage, you know, within the locker room. And then, yeah, that's it, man. We just go out there, perform, and then win, lose, and draw. You know, that's what they tell us. You know, somebody has to go home with a win and with a loss. So just make sure you're responsible. Make sure obviously you don't cuss at your opponent. Yeah. But I do talk a lot. Yeah. When I fight, you know, I do talk a lot. I'll be like, hey man, like, and to myself, not even to my opponent. They'll be watching me like, what the hell is he doing? Because last time when I got rocked, the 2 fights ago, I remember second round started and I started laughing. And I was like, all right, cool, man. You got this first round, but I'm going to end it right here. You know, like I started laughing and I was like, come on, dude, get up. I told him straight up. And then, we started swinging and stuff, but they just tell you all the rules.
So you wrap your hands and then, take me through that. Like, so you start wrapping your hands and then what's from that process?
So you start wrapping your hands and then commission starts talking and be like, hey, like, these are the rules, you know, no eye poking, blah, 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 you know. And then, you know, we just, and for that part, everybody's together, both corners, whatever. So, like, sometimes I'll be eyeing my opponent and be like, you know, like, saying what's up. And sometimes they just, like, look away. And I was like, all right, never mind. You know, like, that's how I know what type of fight it's going to be. Because eventually, like, at the end of the day, it's a sport. You know, like, it's a very aggressive sport, but it is a sport, you know. So I was like, hey, man, we both trying to get the best out of it. So, you know, I'm just here, like, and I make a lot of connections there, but they told us the rules, we go back, and then that's when, like, I started getting nervous for my first fight. You know, my first fight, I was like, all right, cool, this is real, you know? Then you put on the gloves, and they're like, oh, man, this is real, you know?
What's your walkout song?
I have a lot.
Yeah.
But I guess my theme is like all of them has to be in Spanish. You know, so all my walkout songs have been in Spanish. It's been Teo Calderon for some. I had Fuerza Regida for others. And for example, I either go between reggaeton or corridos.
Oh, okay.
So I just set the tone right away, you know, right off the bat, because people put like all this hype stuff, you know, rap. And then, don't get me wrong, sometimes I do want to go out with like some like, you know, crazy stuff like I don't know, like
50 Cent or some shit.
50 Cent, like some old school rap, or like even like some hype shit, you know. But at the end of the day, like once I'm walking out, I'm already hyped. You know, I don't need music no more. So it's like, for me, putting out that songs of like just in Spanish in general, it's just like, it reminds me a lot of my childhood. Like I was like, cool, man. Like I went through the struggles, you know, like I remember listening to certain songs. Like one time I put Teo Calderon, and I remember being little, you know, like I used to like just help my mom, you know, like even cleaning up the house and stuff, and like songs like that would pop up, and like my mom would be like, "Ay, qué feas canciones," you know, like those are ugly songs, you know, you shouldn't be listening to that. But I was vibing, you know, so it takes me all the way back then, and I was like, cool, this is where I should be, you know, this is what I'm fighting for, you know, for my family, and like for my girl waiting back home, and like for my teammates, for everybody, you know, that like supports me and loves me. So I was like, all right, cool, you know, like lock in, you know, that's it, you know, it's time, it's showtime.
When you walk in, are you trying to like stay calm, or are you trying to like, are you hyping yourself
Dude,
up?
So I started doing this couple of fights, and I like it, you know, because it's actually like very cool. And the other fighters, sometimes it's always the same reaction. They're like, you know, like
fucks with them.
Yeah. I sit down, dude. I sit down on the mat, and I'm just chilling, you know, waiting for the guy to walk in. Kind of like, I see it now, like kind of like if I'm sparring somebody, and I was like, I just sit down, relax, and I was like, yeah, like, what's up? You know, like, we're gonna fight. What's up? You know, like, I started like building that like tension, you know, and then, you know, I just sit down. But for the first fight, I remember I was hyping myself up. I was like, because this guy, the first ever fight, he didn't shake my hand. He was being such an asshole to me, dude. And I was like, he was bigger than me, and he was older than me, and he was taller than, like, all odds were against me. I think the actual live odds were like 90-10. Like 10 for me to win. And I knocked him out in 1 minute.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, like, those odds can be lying sometimes. Yeah. You know? So I was like, cool. But,
and that was your first fight? Oh, shit.
My first fight, I got my first knockout. But that was actually, that was very bad for me, because that's how I also lost. Because I knew, like, once again, that ego trip, man, it kills you. So I was like, my second fight, I walked in and I was like, cool, I got my first knockout. I know I can knock this guy out. So I went out there swinging and stuff. And out of like 10 punches that I threw, I only connected 2. And they cut him up a little bit, but eventually I was like, hey man, like, you might not be it, you know? Yeah. And like, they tell me sometimes, like, I heard this and I relate it to that. It's like, sometimes you could be the hammer, or sometimes you can be the nail, you know? So I was like, yep. And sure enough, I was the nail that night. And it didn't go the way I needed, but I'm glad I got it over with, in a sense, because eventually, like, now I know what it is to win. And I know what it is to lose. Yeah.
What does losing feel like in the sport like that? Is it like pretty? I heard it's like some of the worst feelings ever.
So, me and my girlfriend has been together for like 2 years, and we were talking for my first fight, and we were already dating for my second fight. And for my second fight, I had my mom, my sister, and my girlfriend, the most 3 important women in my life. And I lost it all. You know, like, I lost it in the first round, 2 minutes, and I was in Arizona. And I remember the drive over there was longer. The weigh-ins were long and all that. And for me just to lose in like 2 minutes, like, I was like, that's crazy, you know? Like, it's crazy. It's and like, I remember just sitting there watching my own blood, and I was like, all right, cool, this happened already, you know? Like, and watching the crowd like cheering for this guy, because he was like a local guy, and he's pretty cool, man. We follow each other on Instagram already and stuff. He was very down to earth. But I was like, there's no way this happened. And like, it reminded me of like, cool, like, kind of like back to my old self. I was like, but the only difference was like, this actually like drove me to a place of like, kind of like insane, dude. Because I was like, even I just took like 1 week off, and right off the bat started working once again. And my third fight was very sentimental, because I was like, I went against a lot of odds, and I remember I had to drop 10 pounds within a day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because my opponent fell off because he had a seizure or something. And then my coach called me. I was like, yo, your opponent fell off. And I was already cutting weight. And I was going to be for 170. And I was like 175. 5 pounds for me is easy now. But like, hey, man, like, your opponent fell off. He had a seizure. And
seizure from, like, cutting weight?
Yeah, because he looked unhealthy. He looked unhealthy. So I'm pretty sure he just tried to cut, like, all the water right away. And, like, obviously that happens, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so he was like, hey, man, your opponent fell off. We have another option, though. And I was like, what? And I remember it was... And this coach is Carlos. Now, he's my main coach now. Mando, I will never, like, get rid of him. Like, he will always be here with me. Like, yeah. He will always be here, like, in general, man. But Carlos, it was actually one of my Mandos, which is my old coach, of students. So Mando directed me to Carlos, and then from there he started being my coach. So Carlos is my new coach, and that's where I train at Elite Kickboxing. That's another gym I train at. So now he texted me, Carlos. He was like, hey, man, like, in a group chat I remember with me and Mando, I was like, hey, man, like, I'm gonna need you to take a choice or a decision of, like, hey, you have to fight 165 or you're not fighting at all, because eventually your opponent fell off and this is the only option we have. And I remember sitting at my parents' house. I was like, damn. And then Mando, my other coach, was like, I know you can do it, dude. I mean, he was just chilling, you know. And, like, he was like, I know you can do it, Vic, you know. And then Carlos, since, like, I was barely doing that transition between gyms to, like, go from Zen to Elite Kickboxing. Carlos didn't know me that well, but he knew of me, you know. Like, we were barely getting introduced to each other. So he was like, hey, man, like, whatever you want. And then Mando was like, yeah, he will take it. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I think I am. So, yeah, I did. And ever since then, that fight, I bust my hair off. Because even though, like, hair doesn't weigh that much, but it helps, like, with a 1 ounce at least.
Even cut that off?
Everything, dude. Everything.
Everything.
The only hair I had was probably my eyebrows and my, like, little, like, you know. Yeah. And that's it. You know, I shaved everything. Then I went out for a run, and Carlos was cutting weight with me, and we stayed in the gym till, like, 11 p.m. And then when we had to dry off the next day, like, at 8. And I was still 169 over there. Yeah. So we're like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to pull this. I told him straight up. He's like, get in the tub. And I remember I told you.
Tell me, like, give me the rundown on cutting weight, bro. This shit's crazy.
So cutting weight, obviously now I'm doing it the healthier way. But if you get desperate, it can be ugly, you know? And that now I know where people get, you know, all these, like, seizures or, like, conditions, like, because of weight cutting, because they do it very improperly. But in order to make weight, you know, like, especially in that, like, scenario, like, I had to make weight, you know, like, a fuerza. So I remember my coach and one of my closest friends, his name is Ernie. We call him Brock because he has, like, curly hair and he looks like a broccoli. It's funny, you know, like, so we call him Brock. And me and him were over there at the hotel room, and, like, it was just me and him just talking. And then my coach Carlos, he's like, hey, man, like, you're not on weight yet. And I was like, I know. And I was like, I know what has to be done. You know, I was setting myself up. I was, like, preparing myself. I haven't had anything to drink or eat for at least, like, 32 hours by that time.
You can't even drink water?
Nothing, dude.
Holy shit.
I was dehydrating myself so much, and hair was out the picture. And this was the last thing that I had to go through, and it was the bath. So the bath means you put Epsom salt and alcohol, like rubbing alcohol in a warm bath. Kind of like borderline very hot, but like warmish so you can sweat. And what happens with that is that you put yourself in the bath, obviously, and the Epsom salt sucks the water out of you, but the alcohol opens up your pores so you sweat easier. So then you start dehydrating yourself completely. Yeah. And I passed out, dude.
Really?
I passed out. And my friend had to pick me up and carry me to the bed. And I posted that before also on my page. And I got a lot of hate, you know. I got a lot of hate, like, why are you a weight bully and stuff. But they don't know the story. Yeah. You know, and that's why a lot of people can get, like, misinterpreted. Like,
bro, I was looking at the comments on some of your posts, bro. There's some fucking hate, bro.
Oh,
like,
definitely,
it's crazy,
dude. Definitely.
Bro.
Crazy.
It's, it's fucking, it's insane how much, like, and you get a lot of love too, but for the most, like, I was seeing, I was like, God damn,
yeah,
bro,
dude.
like, what the fuck?
And I get hate, and it's funny enough, I have not even said a word, and I get so much hate, you know, like, for example, I don't even put voiceovers in my videos. I just put music, and people still hate. Yeah, you know. So for me, it's like, man, how low in your life you have to be in order to be like so hateful, you know? Especially if you get to know me, like I'll help you out, dude. Yeah. And it had happened that before, like people like talk so much trash. Meanwhile, I'm over here like extending my arm to be like, hey man, like what do you need? Yeah. You know, and like I feel like that will take you farther, not just in life but in general, dude. Like
for sure.
It's like, hey man, like why are you talking all that trash when you know damn well you can come to me and I'll be like, hey man, like we can work something out. Obviously I'm not dumb enough either, you know. If I know you hate me so much and stuff, I'm gonna protect myself, dude. All right, peace out. But dude, it's crazy the amount of hate people just show, especially on the internet. And that's why, like, that's another reason, like, everything you see in social media is not all real sometimes.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. I mean, that just goes to show you, though, like, you're doing something right, bro.
Exactly.
Because people, like, if there's one thing, like, some people, you know you might not be doing that well, like, if people aren't paying attention. But obviously you have that fucking attention.
Exactly.
So that hate is just going to, like, it's going to come, bro. Back, dude. Yeah. But that shit happens as long as... Do you ever respond to comments or anything?
Dude, so I tried not to. And I remember, like, one of the guy who's like, I've gotten so much hate, you know, and, like, that post got me, like, oh, you're such a weight bully, you know, you should just fight in your natural weight class. Sometimes I get hate from, you know, like, I don't know, just even how I look or, like, just anything, dude. Anything that, like, I step 2 feet in the water and, like, boom, everybody hates me. And I was like, all right, cool, you know, like. But one of the main things that I do is, like, as soon as I answer, it doesn't get better. Yeah. It's like you putting yourself in that spotlight where, like, oh, you know what? I picked a nerve, you know, like, hell yeah, finally, you know. And, like, I remember one time, like, I had so much time in my hands. And I was just scrolling and looking at my comments. I was like, all right, cool, you know, like, I get 10 hate posts or, like, 10 hate comments and, like, 20 good ones. I was like, all right, cool. And it's not even hate. Sometimes they just, like, asking random stuff, you know. So I was like, all right, cool. But I remember one of them was like, so you care more about your fame rather than, like, making numbers or, like, winning and stuff. And I was like, and that's the only one I answered because it was like, I saw myself getting bigger. Because I went from, like, 1,000 followers to, like, 4,000 to, like, 8,000, like, within, like, 2 weeks.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was weird. Because eventually, like, I started posting more of my fights. I wasn't going to post none of my fights, but then I was like, nah, dude, like, I want to show who I am. Yeah. You know, I want to show my progress, and I want to show how much I work into this. And, like, some videos will go viral here and there, but, like, the following just went up, and people started more following me and, like, even asking random questions, like, how did you start? How do you get into this and stuff? But besides that, that hate comment was like, hey, man, you care more about the numbers in social media rather than fighting. And I just answered, I was like, you know what? You're right. You know, I have a lot of following. Like, around those lines. I don't remember it by the top of my head, but I was like, it also gives me the spotlight to showcase my talent, you know, and the obsession for this sport. And I said something around those lines, you know. And I feel good, you know, and that's the only time I answer to a, like, I guess, quote unquote, like, somebody that hates me. Yeah. But eventually, like, people are just, like, wanting to break you down just for their own benefit. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you went through it, you know.
I've had a few, not to that extent, because a lot of your, like, you've had very viral videos. So once that happens, like, you just get fucking comments from everybody. But I have experienced some of it, but most of them, it definitely gets to me because low key, bro, I have some thin skin sometimes, bro. But
everybody does, dude.
Yeah, bro. Everybody does. So it does get to me, and there's a few times where I'm like, damn, like what can I say to this motherfucker? Yeah. But and then I just end up going like, bro, I'm not gonna feel good after I say it. Like, exactly. First of all, they can say like, oh, I got the time of day from him to actually like respond to this shit. And it makes him look bad if he's just writing like a comment and like he's getting nothing from that, bro. Like, he's getting no validation. And that's all they want at the end of the day. Like, I got one like this past week on just a podcast. Damn. But it was just like, first of all, it didn't make much sense. So I was just like, all right, whatever. But yeah, it can be, I think it shows more that like, yeah, you don't even respond to it. Yeah. And one thing I found is that people that actually fuck with you, like your homies or whatever, like, you don't have to tell them shit. A lot of them will see it and they'll fucking clap back. And so I just wait on that, bro. Yeah. That is true. Like, I know he's done it a few times where like,
and I'll probably do it for you too, man. Yeah. For you, like, I was like, man, you don't know shit about us.
Yeah. So that shit happens, bro. But
yeah, dude. How about you, man? You had any hate?
I mean, not really, bro. I'm new to the social media world. Like, he's been like really locked in. My like comment section isn't, I'm not as active on IG.
Yeah.
So not as much, but I'm sure. I mean, I've experienced hate in other ways, except like not on social media.
Like in person. I feel like that's actually like better because you can handle it right then and there.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Or like subtle hate,
Exactly.
Like, you could just sense energy sometimes, things like that.
Yeah, energy's a big thing, bro. Just like, nah, for sure, see that, bro. What about like, what's your thoughts on? Is it still recording? Just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm traumatized, bro. That shit fucked with me.
Yeah, it's all good.
What's your thoughts on like when's the last? I don't know. You don't even have to get into this, but
talk to me,
like street fights, bro. Like I know you probably try to avoid it at all costs, but
oh, dude, street fights, man, it's crazy.
I'm sure you've talked about some run-ins you had though, like.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, yeah, dude. Man, crazy. And I tell this to people, man, just so they can know, like, you're not all that sometimes, even though when you know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, this one time I was going at the gym, and I took somebody with me, and, we went out to the gym, and, it kind of, like, hit something that I was, like, I wasn't ready for, like, I took somebody with me to the gym, obviously, like, it was a girl and stuff. And it was years ago. It was like when I was like 19 and stuff. And I try to block that memory so much because they hurt me, because I was like, man, like that was the first time I knew like this could be it. So to back that story up, so it was like we went to the gym, and like there was no thought whatsoever of me like, even going past nothing, like no boundaries. Like I just wanted to work out, you know. And I was getting into that fitness industry of like, hey man, I'm gonna start being like a personal trainer, I'm gonna give you a workout, we're done, cool. Everybody goes their own way, So we went to the gym, and we get out, and then I was gonna go, I have a good day, not even like nothing, no short talking or nothing. Then I see this girl, and she's waiting outside the gym, and I was like, oh snap. And she's like, and I told her, I was like, aren't you going to go home? It's dark. It's like 10. And she was like, no, I'm waiting for my ride. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, come on, let's go. I'll take you, like nothing crazy. I'm just going to take you home, and that's it. And like, because she told me she was like 5 minutes away from the gym. I was like, all right, cool. Not even damn well, I should have just made her walk, dude, especially after that story. But that's when I knew I was like, being this good guy will always sometimes hurt you and bite you on the ass, especially because after that, I took her home, and my car got surrounded, and crazy kids, came out the car and started hitting me and stuff, and I hit back, but it wasn't enough, So I was like, I remember just like short clips of like this dude just like taking off his shirt, calling me out to fight, and once I was ready to fight, they just pull out the strap, and I was like, all right, cool, man, like. I told him straight up like this. I mean, I was freaking out, but once it happened, I was like, it's not that scary at all. It's actually a little bit more like embarrassing for you to do that, And like, obviously deep down I was scared, but the feeling of being pissed off and mostly like what the hell am I getting myself into? It's just like boom. That was like thought number one. What the hell am I getting into? Thought number two, man, I'm scared. Like I don't know what to do. Like. I was like, holy shit. And then I was like, hey, man, if you really want to do this, by all means. But I just met her an hour ago. She doesn't mean nothing to me. You can do whatever you guys want. I really don't care. And then he kind of like started like, he knew like I wasn't going to fight. I wasn't going to do nothing, And that was like first, like to start it off. Like I was laughing when they were punching me because I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I was like, it kind of felt like a prank. Then when I knew I was like it wasn't, and I knew like my life was at risk in a sense, I was like, this is not a prank, like. And then I just got back in my car fast. I remember just driving off, and I started crying because I was like freaked out, but mostly I was also very pissed off because I was like I couldn't do nothing. Yeah. And man, I put my sister through a lot, and I remember going back home to my parents, and my sister was the first person I told. And she was like, do you remember anything from them? Do you remember something? And I was like, no. Like, and I was like like hyperventilating because I was pissed off. You know, I was like, I don't remember nothing. Like, and it kind of felt the same emotion as a fight. Mm-hmm. You're just going autopilot. And I was like, I don't remember nothing, dude. And then she was like, any descriptions so we can go at least like do something, you know, like. And then obviously you can tell she was the fighter of the family. You know? And I was like, no, I don't remember nothing. And then she was like, hi, Vic. I was like, well, we can't do nothing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, and then I told her like crying and stuff. I was like, well, I learned my lesson. You know, like I was crying. I was like,
sir, don't give girls rides home.
Not only that, I was like, man, like you can trust nobody from like, I was like crying and stuff. I was like, I can trust nobody, you know?
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I was just like young, you know, I was trying to help people out and like this happened right away, you know? And it was like, before that, there were some good experiences. You know, I used to train my homies from high school and like whoever wanted to wrestle, I would teach them how to wrestle. But like, that was like one of the first scenarios where I was like somebody new, somebody like I could profit from in a sense, like without sounding like a dick, but like something like productive, you know, to see as it work. Because I mean, shit, I wanted to do something with my life, and being a coach was it. So, and I took that for a lesson. And
for sure.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, bro, that's a fucking crazy story. Crazy. Just the situations you find yourself in, bro.
Exactly.
My God. So for someone who's like, what's advice you would give to someone, because MMA is very like, it's a sport, but it's a very like serious thing, bro. Like there's a lot of risk involved in it, and it takes so much work, bro. So like, what's advice you'd give to someone who maybe wants to pursue that? And what does it take to, like, obviously you're still early on in your career, but just from what you learned in like the past few years, you know, what's advice you would give them, and what's something that they could, how can they set themselves up to be like successful?
Man, that's a great question. Mm-hmm. Honestly, wise advice, like I can tell you right now, like a lot of people, you know, like sitting here and will be like, never give up, you know, and never, you know, you always have a goal, you gotta know why you do this for, and blah blah blah, you know, like all that advice is good, it's healthy, it's like, it's building something great. But honestly, like once you get into sport, it's not nice. Mm-hmm. It's not nice. Sometimes it's gonna be very dark, and the shit, you know, like the experiences I had, you know, even without even knowing, and I knew how to fight back then. I couldn't defend myself. The experiences such as losing, the experiences such as like concussions, shoulder dislocations, fucking fractures, everything, dude. It's not nice. So in order to fight, in other words, you have to know yourself, and you have to know where you're getting yourself into, and not to the degree you're like, okay, cool, I'm getting myself into this. No, obviously, because I don't even know, you know, I might be somebody even greater than I know, or what I want to aim for, you know, like I might be like this, I don't know, you know, crazy motherfucker, but my goal is there. And all I can do right now is work and have faith. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. And like, there's no motivation. There's no nothing. It's just work and have faith. And by those two, I mean, it's like, I made the error before. Like I said, I was good physically, but not mentally, you know. And I had to get my three things straight. It's like body, mind, and soul. And once those three are aligned, dude, like you're unstoppable. And that's not with MMA, but with anything. Yeah. You know, like, I'm pretty sure you two have been through like a lot of difficulties within your life, and it looked like the world was ending for you, you know. But gracias a Dios, you know, like my dad always told me, like, a ti nunca se te van a cerrar las puertas. You know, like doors never close on you. Amen. Because one closes, man, and three other open. You know, simple as that. And like, if you have faith, man, like shit, like anything can happen. You know, like I went through my toughest battles alone, and sometimes I didn't have the support I needed, but deep down I knew, like, if I have faith and I work, I will get out of this, you know, like. And it's crazy too, because like I go deep, you know, like regardless if I don't want to, I always go deep. And like, you know, like growing up, I grew up in a very like hardworking environment, but like it wasn't all best, you know, like my mom used to clean houses, you know, and like my dad works over there in Juarez, and up to this day he still works over there, you know, so he crosses the bridge every time, and he works over there, comes back, and like they're both U.S. citizens, you know. Just throwing that out there, you know. But, you know, taxpayers and all that. But they're both hardworking people.
Yeah.
And I saw them go through everything, you know. My mom has leukemia, and she went through all that when I was young.
Wow.
My dad was putting overtime at work so he can, like, sustain us, you know, his small family. You know, we had, like, cardboard furniture, and we had everything, dude. And me being the kid I was, I saw my childhood as heaven. You know, I enjoyed every single struggle with them. And sometimes I would even go with my mom to clean up houses, and I'll help her out when I was 7 years old, 6. And my grandma used to help her out too. And, like, sometimes my dad used to take care of me because my mom was, you know, sometimes in the hospital and stuff. Like, everything was against me at a young age. And, like, I just saw the light in it, you know. I saw the light rather than just being down on myself. I saw the light of, like, cool, these are my situations. When am I going to get out of this? You know? And my mom used to clean up for this law firm too. It's by downtown area. And I work at a law firm from 8 to 5, you know. I work from a law firm from 8 to 5, and then I get out and do my other shift, in a sense, you know, from 6 to 10. But working at a law firm, I pass through a lot of things, you know, delivering stuff, and it's kind of by the courthouse. It's called Apodaca, and it's closed already, you know. It's like homeless people are around it, you know. It's all, like, vacant. But I passed her, and I was like, you know, like, we have come far in a long way. And we're barely getting started, man. I'm barely 21, you know. I'm very ambitious, and, like, so are you too, you know. Like, man, like, it's just, like, I surround myself with good people and good energy, like you said, you know, like, and I know that for a fact will take you far. So my advice, once again, would be have faith and work hard, and just surround yourself with good people, because eventually, like, you never know when this life could be stripped off. You know.
Exactly, bro. Amen, bro.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like you draw, like, a lot of like fire and drive, like, from like your family and, like, the values that they have taught you. But, like, what do you do personally to just kind of keep your mental health in check, like, through all these dark times and all the hard stuff you have to go through within, like, fighting, family? What makes Victor happy outside of fighting?
That's a good one. For me, like, I did the mistake of before, I saw myself as a wrestler before, and that's it. And today I can honestly say that I see Victor as a humble person, you know, as a giving person, and that falls in the lines of, like, fighting, being myself, even being here, or, like, even at work. You know, like, I know for a fact any person that I had an interaction, you know, has nothing but good things to say about me. Even if they, like, screwed me over, even, like, whatever it is, I always try to do something good, you know. Even in the worst, you know, sometimes I've been in the wrong, but I'm not scared of saying sorry, you know. I'm not scared of saying, like, hey, I fucked up, you know. But regardless of what it is, I feel like my happiness is mostly in the realm of just doing something that's gonna set myself up for even more happiness. And it's not really happiness that I was before, yes, it was happiness that I was, like, striking for, but now it's like I want to have peace. You know, peace, peace of myself, peace of the present, and peace that I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, and I know for a fact what happened in the past already happened. So I want to find peace within myself, so I can, one, enjoy my present and be happy, you know, and second of all, know that I have the ability to change somebody's day, change my own day, and just go back and analyze, like, hey, like, these are your emotions. And this is where the second question is about. It's like, how do you keep your mental health in check, you know? Dude, it's hard. It's very hard, because, like, sometimes you're, like, you drive yourself into this big, I guess, like, loophole, in a sense of, like, you just constantly, like, go back into your old habits. You know, like, after a fight, and I've been working so much in this, like, after a fight, I relax a little bit. I relax, like a week, and I go back to practice. Before, after a fight, I used to take, like, a month off, eat whatever I wanted, and then going back would be so harsh on my body. So those are the loopholes that I feel like you need to avoid, especially, like, in your mental health. And same with your mental health, you know, like, every action starts with a thought, you know, like, as soon as you can control that thought, like, hey, man, like, you want to eat that fucking, I don't know, hamburger, you know, you want to eat that cheesecake, and then you just fall off, you know. But if you're like, hey, you want to eat that? Nah, dude, I'm good.
Yeah,
that's it. And so sometimes I had to go all the way back and step, you know, like 5 steps behind me and be like, all right, cool, man, we're not even healthy at all, man. You're not getting up, you're not doing nothing, you're not even like doing your laundry. You're like, come on, dude, what the hell's going on? And I check it off and I'm like, all right, cool. I get done like what I have to, then I start working on what I need to do, you know? Yeah. So I feel like just being productive and actively knowing that like you fucking up will be one of the best solutions for your mental health.
Yeah, for sure. I think what you said of like how you used to just see yourself as like a wrestler, or like sometimes you just like see yourself as a fighter, like that can be for sure, I think, pretty harsh on your mental health, bro, because like that stuff's gonna go up and down, you know.
Exactly.
And that's how I used to be, like whether it's like I just saw myself as a basketball player, like if I had a shitty game, like that was gonna determine like how I thought people viewed me, you know. Exactly. And how I viewed myself. Or even now, it's like if a podcast doesn't do that well, it's just like, or just I fuck up in some way, it's just like, yeah, you look at yourself as like only doing that, and like that's how people view you. But like you have to like step out of that for sure. It's like, yes, it's one thing, you want to be successful in like whatever realm or whatever thing you're going in, or like whatever what's the word, profession or whatever.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like you also have to look at yourself as a person, like how, and just kind of view yourself in that lens of like, all right, yes, I may not have like been successful at this time around in this thing, but it's like how is my family viewing me? Like how am I treating the people around me? What am I doing for my family? Like what am I doing for other people? And yeah, bro, like you said, like people see you as like a humble person, and like you kind of get a lot of like satisfaction from that, you know, just building connections and really just being a good person, bro. I feel like you just have to constantly remind yourself of that you're not just like a fighter, you know.
Exactly.
I think that's big.
Yeah, I mean, being grounded and knowing like what you bring to the table will also bring more confidence, you know. And it also like, you know, the struggles, you know, some shit you saw that you shouldn't have, and you know you have been through some shit that you shouldn't have. Dude, that's life. You know, that's life itself. Like, you don't have control. Shit, like, God forbid, you know, but like, who knows, like, if we're able to even see tomorrow, you know? So that being said, I sat down with the idea, like, once again, like, it's because fighting in life also like kind of like contradict each other, but also like come align a lot, because like you have to say yourself for your life that you know it's gonna end, you know, but you also have to say yourself for your life that you know it's worth living. You know what I mean? So you have to just know that like you're a humble person, dude, and you're doing more than you think. Cause like, dude, I seen your Instagram, dude, and that's just popping off, man. Like, I remember I texted you, I was like, yo, like, how do you edit your videos? And like, you know, like, it's crazy. And you know, you gave me advice and stuff. I was like, dude, that's insane. Game changer. And stuff like that, man. Even like these podcasts, like, you're bringing people closer and together, you know, like you're building a community without even like stepping back, and you're like, oh snap. And I'm pretty sure you have been feeling like that lately, but eventually I know for a fact, like you built something that most people are not even like able to even like think about, you know what I mean? So that speaks for itself more. So I feel like knowing that you have a lot of things to show to this world and a lot of things to prove to this world, and not necessarily to this world, but like to yourself, man, like you're in for a great time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
And when I think about like how long like the podcast has been going, and like obviously, yeah, I want to grow it and everything, but when I look back on like exactly what have I enjoyed the most, bro, it's meeting all these fucking amazing people, bro. Like, it's a small community. I mean, it feels like El Paso's big, but in a way, it's small, bro.
Dude, it's small.
It's small, so just meeting all these like super dope people, bro, where it's like maybe you've seen them like on Instagram, and like for whatever reason, sometimes you're just like, it's easy to kind of like, especially if someone's doing the same thing, it can be like, oh, like I'm not gonna like fuck with them, but like. Yeah. Nah, it's totally opposite, bro. Like once you start just like, just the amount of people I've met through doing this and just kind of putting myself more out there, like just going to the run club. Like that's how I met you, bro.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy how we met, bro. It was
You're
like
passing me.
So we were running, bro, and like I had never met him, and we had followed each other on IG, bro. But anyways, I saw him. I was just running, and I was just like, I just started running alongside you. And then before you know it, bro, we were just kind of pushing each other, bro. Like, this motherfucker sped up, and I was like, fuck, all right. And then I was just like, all right, let's just finish off strong. And then so we get to the end, and then we just start chopping it up. And I was like, bro, you look so familiar. And I was like, and that's how we kind of like made that connection. But it's just like, yeah, like just simple shit like that, bro. Like just putting yourself in those like different places, and you never know who you're gonna meet and everything. It's so dope. So if you were to just when you look ahead, like what's something that what's like your ultimate goal, bro? What do you see yourself, and what do you look at in your future? Like you can look back on and you're just like, damn, all right, once I'm here, like I feel like obviously you're never gonna make it, right? And making it I don't think is a thing, but what's just something like you're working towards right now?
So a lot of people get mistaken with the idea of like making it to UFC is like, that's fucking awesome, you know? And like I've met some UFC fighters, and I train with like some as well, and like they're just living people, you know, like they're just regular people, and like some people see that as their whole entire life, and like I know for a fact I'm gonna have to go through that, you know. I'm gonna have to see once I go professional, like UFC or like no UFC, MMA as my whole entire life. But making it to the UFC, I feel like that's my short-term goal. You know, my short-term goal is just like fighting. Because, dude, let's be realistic. I'm 21, and I'm going to start fighting, give or take, if God gives me life. I'm going to start fighting, like, at 32, 33. You know, like, I still have another, like, 30 years, you know? So I feel like making it to UFC is my short-term goal. And on the process of making it, I want to just encourage people to just come along, you know? Like, my sponsorships, dude, they have been helping me out a lot. And, like, it's just like your interaction, dude. That's how I do with my sponsors, you know. Like I'm never ashamed of just starting a conversation. So sometimes I'll be going, or sometimes I'll just like text them on Instagram. I was like, yo, like I'm a local fighter, and like I see you do this type of services. I'm not asking for much, but if you're willing to help one another, like I promise you I'll do my best to help you out. And like, dude, I'm so blessed. I have a meal sponsor, like Caters. Yeah, dude, they're legit, man. He knows how to cook and smart too, because like he does like chile rellenos, you know, like man, I love it. But he does them with like egg whites and like low like calorie cheese, dude. So eating one of those will be like 600 calories, 500.
Wow.
And you're just solid, man. It has a lot of protein and stuff. Them, dude. And Cocoon, EP Cocoon, recovery sessions, sauna, and cold plunge, dude. My body just feels great.
Yeah.
My body feels great. And honestly, like, after running with you, I remember just being sore. Because, I mean, it was a whole sprint when we went up there. You know, it was an uphill. I went there, and I'm chilling for the next day. My own gym, dude. So, Zen and Elite Kickboxing, they sponsor me with, like, training. I don't pay at all.
Wow.
And I'm very blessed for that, because eventually, like, I know for a fact Mando and Carlos and all my teammates, I have a lot, man. I care for all of you. I'm not going to mention you guys. That's, you know, I have a whole list if I could. Yeah. But I know my whole teammates, like, and coaches, and, like, I really am blessed to have them, because I know they put a lot of trust, and they take a lot of time of their lives to see me perform and know that I'm doing good, and, like, just teaching, you know. And Dog House Print, they make my shirts, dude. I'll get you one for sure, and I'll get you one for sure, dude.
You just released, you just dropped one, right?
We did a drop. Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
And we used to have like the OG ones, like just as Victor, Guapo Santillan, but like they were cool, man. They saw the vision as I did, and they're like, you know what? Fuck that. We're gonna go all out. And I was like, oh shit. We're like, what you mean? You know? You're like, we're gonna do a full like graphic design. We're gonna put your last name. We're gonna do all that, and then ideas just started pouring, man. It's kind of like this. And we're like, man, we should do a podcast. So, and it was funny, you know, and they're local business, dude. Very humble people, and very easy to, like, start a conversation with them. And, like, last but not least, I have a dispensary, dude.
Really?
That sponsors me. Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. Obviously, I don't smoke during my fight camp, but I just, like, have a dispensary, and they sponsor me just with money. But they're very humble people, man. It's a local, like, well, not local because they're in Anthony, but they sponsor me, and they're like, hola carnalillo, ¿cómo estás, homie? Like, and, you know, they're very humble people, and I was like, hell yeah. So, and they just came across me because I also have like friends and family where they're, well, family not like blood related, but like family where they're in Arizona. But yeah, they like, we just made the connections, and I'm very blessed to have my sponsorships. So
yeah. You just gave me some game, bro. I might start, like, because I think about it, like, I'm trying to.
You can get a sponsorship for sure, dude.
There's a lot of local businesses I love, bro, and
exactly.
like I would love to work with, but I just really haven't reached out. But I feel like I should. I don't think it's a bad thing to reach out to people.
And last but not least, I forget.
Yeah.
My boy Danny boy, he made my old leg piece, man.
Oh shit, yeah. Damn.
You've seen it before, but
yeah,
it's clean.
And he sponsors me with this, but also with having such a nice conversation.
Yeah.
He's such a cool guy, man.
Sorry, bro.
No, you're good. You're good.
That was me for a second.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh shit, my bad.
First time that's ever happened.
But very humble people, man, and they helped me out over there at River Trail Studios, and that's how I live my life, man. Just sponsorships and fighting and my 8 to 5. And
yeah, what do you work at, the 8 to 5?
So it's a law firm,
yeah,
and I'm a building maintenance, but also help out the attorneys a lot. Like if they have to drop something off, I try to help out with the legal stuff, but man, that wasn't it. You know, like I was like, nah, that wasn't it. But man.
So once you all right, so your short-term goal, UFC, right? And like obviously there's money in that, and you can, especially if you end up like being like living up to your potential, because I mean you have so much potential, bro, right? And so, but after fighting, is there something that you're actually like, you think about, like, you're super passionate about, that you would love to get into?
For sure, I would like to learn about, like, so money obviously was one of the biggest problems growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I saw my parents like suffer a lot just because of the lack of money, and I feel like they didn't have a lot of like financial stability, but also financial like education at all.
Yeah.
You know, they like, and my mom started getting into that like slowly, but I saw it coming, and I was like, how am I not able to afford like this pair of new shoes at this age? And I started working when I was 14, dude, cutting grass for like $40, you know? And then like I started working at Abercrombie and Fitch, and it's crazy enough, I was making less money over there than when I was cutting grass. So I started doing both in high school, and then like from the age of 14 to like 18, I started working, well, to the age of 14 to now, obviously, but those little side hustles. So I was always, I viewed myself always as a like go-getter. Like I always used to like, whatever I want, I'm gonna go for it, you know? And that's like same with fighting and stuff. So I want to open up a gym, dude, especially with the money I have. And I want to learn about money and like how to make it work for me. You know, like the ultimate goal is for like you to retire your parents, yourself, and your close ones, you know, and help out. But for me, that's one of the goals. But adding to that, it's also like I want to help the community that once helped me, you know, as like opening a gym, and like maybe I like encounter somebody like my age, my style, and my background, and like it would be a blessing for me to help them, because like eventually, like if I made it that far, I can only imagine like if somebody like with the same opportunities as me and like whatever they need, like I provide, like imagine how far they go, you know? So I mean, making it to the UFC, winning that like that belt and like championship, it's obviously one of my ultimate goals, and I know for a fact like I'm gonna see it, you know, like I visualize it, you know. One of my closest friends over there too, his name is Caesar at York. I don't know him, dude. Like I didn't know him. I met him through my like 2 friends that wrestle over there in Nebraska. But it's crazy enough, like he gave me a haircut because he's from here too. And he gave me a haircut when he came back here to EP, and he was like, hey man, like we just started talking, and he made me more focused into like growing my faith. But one of those things, he's like, hey man, like what makes you think that you cannot shake Dana's white hand? And I just sat there like watching him cut, like he was lining me up. He's like, what makes you think that you cannot shake Dana's white hand? And I was like, and like I kid you not, I left his house and I was like not crying of like sadness, but like of joy. I was like, I see it now. You know. And then ever since then, everything just grew. Like I know I'm gonna go out there, and however I make a contender series or like getting fights back to back and getting my win streak and whatever it is, I know I'm gonna step foot in that octagon. And after that, I know I'm gonna win all the way up to like get a championship, you know. And like I just know that I'm gonna get all of that, you know. And I agree with the fact, like if God doesn't want that for me, okay, cool, but at least I tried. You know. But after that, I just want to make sure like I'm good, my family's good, and the generations after me are good, you know. So just like growing my wealth, but gym is one, and just like enjoying life, dude. I'm a very simple man, dude. I just drink my coffee in the morning, go out for a run, go work, and put in the work, dude.
That's awesome, bro.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's nothing that makes you that you should think that you wouldn't be able to shake his hand, you know.
Exactly, dude.
There's like you can be in the UFC, like there's literally obviously there's things stopping you in your way, but you have everything in your power to be able to like overcome those things.
Exactly.
And yeah, envisioning it is everything, bro. Like,
just know that you're gonna become famous once I make it big, dude. You're gonna watch back and you're like, man, like this motherfucker wasn't crazy,
bro. I was one of the, I had you on the first pod on your first ever podcast, bro. Yeah, UFC crazy. Champ, baby.
Yeah, UFC champ. Yeah.
Yo, I mean, I can see it, bro. That's just crazy.
I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, bro. But I have a lot of I brought some questions too, so we can get into those right
now.
Let's
do it, man. Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you can actually talk to Curry too.
Oh, hell yeah.
The podcast is still rolling. I just need this.
You don't roll it without chewing the chair, bro? You didn't have an empty chair there?
It's all good, bro.
Véngase.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I get my haircut, bro. I knew I was off camera, bro.
Oh, man. You're playing it smart. You're playing it smart.
Yeah.
Hey, man. They don't have to know.
Yeah,
you're faded up right now. I have a suit on, everything.
I'm on my I'm not on my Andrew Tate. I'm on what's Andrew Tate's brother's name? Tristan Tate.
Tristan Tate. Yeah.
Tristan Tate stuff, you know.
Crazy.
I'm gonna chill in the back.
Hell yeah, man. That's crazy, man. So you met this guy for like 18 years already?
Yeah, bro. We were kids, bro. Like since elementary school, we've been like freaking close.
Damn, dude.
And yeah, bro. We're growing up now. We're all freaking adults.
Crazy, man.
Growing up.
Damn, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's
fighting is crazy, bro.
And it's not that crazy, man. Like I tell everybody, it's fun until you get punched. I mean, and that's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
I feel like getting knocked out doesn't even hurt that bad either. You know, I've been days to the point you're like borderline knocking out, but I just like walk it off in a sense. But getting knocked out isn't that bad because eventually you just like it's like having like a nightmare. You just close your eyes and you open them and you're back to life.
Yeah.
You know. I think what's worse is like when you cannot get knocked down. You know, like you're like you're just taking damage, and you're like, damn. You know, it's looking very tough out here. You know, you come back with a bruised eye, like swollen nose, and everything. So, but yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a cool sport, man. Have you ever done like any type of?
Not like anything like legit professionally. Everything's been more on the street side of things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Unorthodox, but I take my fair share of like falls, bro. Obviously, and. I mean, yeah, bro. Everybody always asks me because I've had a broken nose, broken jaw, bro. You know, plenty of surgery. Dude, like nothing in the moment really hurts. Like,
exactly, it's crazy. Yeah.
So I tell everybody that like nothing in the moment really hurts. It's the recovery that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So like I commend you on that, bro, because you got to be able to take a beating and then just and get back to it, bro.
Exactly.
Like start working all over again.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like growing up, I always saw fighting like as something like intimidating too, you know, like I remember watching like people going at it like at like lunch and stuff, and like people would be bleeding and stuff, and you're like, damn, that's crazy, man. And then we'll just go back like sixth period and you're like, ah, cool. Or even like one time I remember watching my pops fight and it was crazy, man, but it was like it wasn't nothing too crazy, you know, but like, it was like all these like words and all these aggression. I was like, damn, dude, like this shit's serious. But at the end of the day, man, it's like you said, it's a crazy thing, you know, especially once you're not doing it for a sport. It's like something like borderline like inhumane, but it's cool, man. It's cool, especially once you get into the side of like getting more into the sport and like knowing that you can have like more control of your body. It's pretty cool, man.
What kind of mental battles are you fighting in your head when you're just like pushing yourself? Or are you just saying like suck it up and do it?
So mental battles at itself, I mean, everybody's goes through it. Even waking up, you know, you don't want to wake up at times, you know, like 6 a.m. Like tomorrow I have to wake up at 5. You know, like I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You know, or like tomorrow I have like practices, back to practices, and then I have conditioning and weight training and all that. So it's like the mental battle itself, I don't see it like, I try to myself, like I hype myself up, you know? And like for a long time, you're just going to be the one hyping yourself up. You know, you're going to be the one trusting yourself, and you're going to be the one looking at the vision itself, you know. Yeah. People might be around seeing it, you know, with you, but it's not like you know, like you're sitting down on this chair and you're like, cool, I know I'm going to be there for a minute. Like, and I know I'm going to be there for it like sooner or later. So I feel like the mental battle for itself, I feel like it's just getting distracted. Yeah. You know, that's the mental battle I face. 'Cause like, obviously like, my work gets me distracted from like my actual purpose of like fighting, you know. So the battle right there is like I'm working towards something that like I can provide for myself, but also like put in the work for my dream, you know, which is like fighting and stuff. So that's a mental battle, man. And obviously like the question itself is like not being good enough, you know, like that's for sure like one of the biggest mental battles like that I face for sure.
Right. Wow. You gonna pull up to the run on Sunday?
I can't, dude. I have open sparring that day.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so that's why I just go on Saturdays. But when they do it on Sunday, it's like,
it's
man,
tough for you.
You had him on the podcast too, huh?
Yeah, bro. Freddie's that's the dude, bro. He's we were just talking about this the other day, bro. Freddie's a fucking real one, bro. He's so dope.
Wait, his name is Freddie, but how come he has Ish on? Like, is it?
Ish is just like I run. So his Instagram name is I run Ish. It just means like basically it's I run shit.
Oh, yeah, shit, man. He pulled something on me. Crazy.
Nah, that's funny though.
That's funny. But you knew who I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know him by his Instagram name too. But nah, he's his name's Freddie, bro. That's the homie, bro. He's
good thing I never called him Ish. I could be like, what the fuck?
He was probably just still. He'd have been with it, bro. Yeah, like he was like, yeah, that's my name. Yeah, that's cool. So, how'd you find out about the Run Club out? Yeah.
So I go to Viejo Coffee with one of my homies. His name is Tony, and he works at Schwab's, which is like a gym not too far away. So he's one of my closest friends too. You know, he pulls up with me to the fights. Funny enough, he's also the cousin of my barber, which is kind of my homie. You know, like okay, so it's like a little circle, you know, and like it's family, and then it's kind of like, you know, that's it. You know, that's my little like group, and we don't hang out as often, obviously, because we're busy and stuff. But whenever we need each other, we're there for each other. But we go to Viejo Coffee a lot, and I texted Jose, hey man, like you're done to sponsor me, and like he was like, hey man, I've done sponsorships in the past, you know, and like I'm not too sure, you know, like, and it was cool, you know, like I respected everything, and obviously like even if they say yes or no, at the end of the day I go out saying like, hey man, thank you for at least answering me, you know, like that means way more than, because I've been left on scene so many times, man, like it's not even funny. But it's just like me wanting to get something right. But he answered me, you know, and it was everything cool, you know. And then I buy my coffee there, and I like my coffee sometimes sweet, but for the most part, I just get triple shot espresso black. That's it, you know. Yeah.
Simple you mean business, bro.
It's simple, man.
Dirty coffee.
Yeah. So all the things I switch is just coffee itself, you know. The coffee beans. Sometimes like I like something like on the lighter roast. Sometimes I like dark roast, you know.
Yeah.
So I go there, get my coffee and stuff, and ever since then, I also met Mike, you know, guy who's tied it up with classes. He runs too, but not with us.
Mike. I'm sure if I saw him, I'd recognize him.
He's super chill, man. He's the one that, like, also I see a lot, especially because I used to go in the mornings. Yeah. But, so I used to go there, get some coffee, and then I just, like, I saw something, like, run for EP, and then, like, I started searching it, and, like, I searched it once, saw it, I was like, all right, cool. Because I like running, but not like for the enjoyment of it, because I have to cut weight. Yeah. So I just put on the sauna suit, run, and boom. I like the clarity that it gives you, but itself, like running, like it's not my go-to, you know, especially like in fighting. Like you don't run to condition, you do like 10 sprints and then like burpees and stuff, so your body can hit like a threshold. And then out there, you just like push yourself. So running for me would be seen like an active recovery, you know, something like that. But on Sundays and Saturdays, dude, I see it like a competition. You know, like I see somebody, man, and I gotta pass them. Like I did with you, man. Yeah. And I remember I went to the Little Rose one. You went too, right? Yeah. This guy, he was like going like that, and I was like, you don't want to do that. You know, like you don't want to do that. And you remember that downhill, you know, downhill, and then you took. I was like, all right, cool, you got the downhill, but as soon as we turn that corner, I'm gonna beat your ass, you know. So as soon as we turn the corner, sure enough, just smoked them, you know. And then like I passed him and two other people. And obviously, like, at the end of the day, it's all love. But deep down, I was like, man, like, I need to control my competitiveness.
No, for sure. That's how it be, bro. I mean, like, I try to see it as, like, all right, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. But, it's like, bro, once it's not even anything they could do, bro. It's just, like, for example, I was running the half marathon. Yeah. And I was, like, I started off running like I was like a 7-minute pace because like all the adrenaline is like I didn't even realize I was going like that fast. So I was like, all right, let me chill a little bit, and then motherfuckers started passing me, bro. And it's not, I mean, they don't say anything, bro. Yeah, but like just in my head, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, like I'm gonna catch this like mile 8 or 9. Like go ahead, bro. You gonna burn yourself out, but you gonna see me at mile 9
exactly.
And I'm just going. I'm gonna turn it up, but like, real, yeah, that's how it be, bro. It'd be a little competitive, but it's all fun. And then once you end, it's like you dab each other. I was like, hey, bro, that was good. That was good shit.
Yeah,
but that competitive is something crazy, bro.
It never goes away, man. It never goes away. Even when you say it's not competitive, it will be competitive.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you two get like that sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Balling up and stuff.
Talk hella shit, bro.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
No, that's fun. But honestly, I can relate. Like, I don't even like running that much, bro. Like, I run a lot, but it's more so like, especially for the run club, it's literally like it's a super nice morning. Like you said, you meet hella people, and yeah, there's just something about like the destinations too. Like if we're running downtown, it's just a dope little like it's a vibe, bro.
Exactly.
Like, but the actual like running, like it's not something like it's more of a discipline thing, you know. So I totally understand that.
And I'm pretty sure you felt it before. Like you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to go.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know? And like, but deep down you're like, if I go and I get it done, I know I'm gonna feel way better than if I didn't. You know, if
no,
I didn't
100%.
So yeah, dude, it's fun. Especially like when I used to cut weight, I used to cut weight in a treadmill. But this opened up the doors to be like, hey man, like it's not always that like it's not that bad. Only if you put it into perspective, like running places that you don't even think of running, you know. I never thought about running in downtown, you know, like that's where I kind of work, you know, like I move myself around there. So I was like, oh shit, you know, like it's nice barely waking up, you know, you see like las viejitas vendiendo cosas and shit, you know, like los perros and shit.
You almost fucking get ran over, like
dude,
bro, I almost got ran over.
I saw that, dude. That motherfucker passed the red light and I just see you hopping over their hood. I was like,
bro, shit, that shit was nuts.
The hop a hood?
Bro, there was a few times I had to do that,
so
bro.
Close, dude.
No.
Did you go to the one at Union too? Were you the one? That shit happened at Union too, bro. Like, the thing is, I saw this fucking girl, bro. I knew she was gonna go, but there was a little bit of hope where I was like, nah, she won't.
Yeah.
And then so I was running, and then like she fucking goes. I fucking bust the Heisman on her, bro. Like just on the car, bro.
That's crazy.
But nah, there was a few, like the one on downtown, bro.
Yeah, that was bad, dude.
I almost fucking got hit bad.
Yeah.
Like they were fucking zooming, bro. It was low key my fault because it was.
That shit was on red, dude.
Yeah, it was straight up red. There was no walk sign, bro. But I was like,
that hand was fucking bright.
Yeah,
and you were like, nah, I'm jogging it. I was like, dude, you're gonna. Sure enough.
Yeah, it was scary, bro. But you got to play it off like you kind of meant to do that.
Like,
but after I was like, oh fuck, like I almost fucking got hit, bro.
You're like, nah, I'm doing hurdles. You guys are running. I'm doing fucking hurdles. What's up?
All right, let's get into some of these questions.
Talk to me, dude.
Yeah. All right, we have a few different genres here that we can go into.
All right.
We can go into. I know you have a girl actually. So girl of 2 years, right?
2 years, yeah.
We'll get into actually the question. It's not on here, but I was wondering like
Talk to me.
because you do like you work a lot, bro. Especially you work and then you work out. I'm sure you have like super long days. How do you kind of like make sure like you have time for like just relationship and stuff?
And it's funny enough, me and my girl were talking about this, and she's like, "What are you gonna answer when they ask you that?" And I was like, I'm gonna just be honest with them.
Yeah.
You know, like, and honestly, like, she has sacrificed so much of her happiness to be with me.
Really?
Yeah. And like, that's when you know, like, you're in for it deep, you know. And like, it's funny enough, her dad, you know, so she's mixed. She's Mexican and black. Her dad is black and the mom is Mexican. And man, he's intimidating.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was the meeting? How was the meeting, bro?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Cause like, her dad works out of out of state, and then when I met her, her dad just left, and we started talking, and he was back. We were already dating. So he knew of me, but not of me, but he knew that I fight, and he knew that I was Mexican. That's it, you know. Because funny story short, I'm the first Mexican boyfriend that she has.
Really?
Yeah. And she's my first girlfriend too.
Really?
Yeah. Like like before, like, I used to like, you know, talk to people or girls, you know, just so she doesn't get mad. But like, I used to talk to girls, you know, and stuff, but like it was never fulfilling, and then it was never like healthy. And then I met her, and it was fun, man, from the get-go. But from the get started, like, I was a busy man, because she met me when I was really starting my MMA career, in a sense, or like getting my first real fight, because I had a smoker here in El Paso, and that just doesn't count, you know. And I didn't know her yet, but for my first fight, that's when I was like, all right, cool. Like, we started talking, you know, you're cool and stuff. And then we didn't live together, but as soon as she saw like, hey, like, you're not texting me as often, and she used to be like a little Instagram famous, you know, she used to have like 13K followers, 14. So she's very attractive. My ass just shot my shot, and I was like, the worst thing that can happen is just like she's losing on scene, you know.
Yeah.
And like, funny story short too, man, all of this is funny, but I sent her a text 2 years ago, even before I sent that one, and she didn't answer me. She left me on scene. Then, like, I was in this situationship. She sends me a message, and I just leave her on scene. And then we were playing this game, you know, and like finally, like, we both had like perfect timing, perfect alignment, and you're like, all right, cool, you know, like, hey, what's up? You know, like, we started talking and stuff. We started dating, and it was fun, dude. It was very, very nice. It's a very wholesome experience. But now this is where it became real. Where I work, she doesn't work too far away from me, so she would come every single time I had a lunch break. You know, and it was like a 20-minute drive for her, and every single day without miss she used to come, and we used to go either to the park, eat something, and when I cut weight, she would be the only one eating, you know, like, it was fun. And I liked it ever since the get-go, because it just showed me like she's in it for it, you know, like she's real with me, and she has caught me like on my bad habits of, like, you know, going on my highs and my lows, my, you know, my anxiety, my everything, my doubts, and she's just there, and she's like, you'll be all right, you know, like she's my, for sure, the one that like pulls me back and like, hey, like, don't get ahead of yourself, you know, you're still good, you're still here. And like, and it's funny because we balance each other pretty good, because she's a fighter too. You know, she's like snappy, you know.
Yeah.
And when she gets road rage, I was like, bro, you're gonna get me killed again, you know. Like, I was like, and I told her that story about me getting like quote unquote jumped, but eventually was. And so I was like, I'm traumatized when people stop me, so I'm gonna start swinging right off the bat. And she's like, starts laughing. But for me, I feel like time, dude, it's very limited. So obviously I wake up early from 5, and then I go back home like for an hour for my lunch break. And then we have a dog too. Her name is Cora. She's cool, man. She's a little beagle. She's funny. But
so do you guys live together right now?
Yeah, we still live together.
Dope. Yeah.
And that's my dad. Yeah, I'll take it right now. He'll understand.
Yeah.
But so we live together now, and we as soon as we started living together, she saw the real shit, you know, like the real shit when it comes to like cutting weight, to like not being home. Because like recently I've been getting home like at 10, you know, 10:30, because like I also coach as a wrestling, you know, I'm a wrestling coach, and I have my personal trainings, and I'm a weightlifting coach. I mean, all of the above, you know, anything surrounded by the gym and martial arts, I know it, except, you know, a few things here and there. But if not, I learn it, you know. I like to learn as much as I can. So time wise, dude, I either see her at 1 hour during lunch, then I get out of work, and we see each other like a couple of minutes, like 30 minutes tops, and then go back to work, you know. And we have opposite schedules, so she works weekends and I work during the weeks, you know. And she works like here and there and during the week, but it's mostly weekends, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, and like I had to catch up like with whatever, like I need to help her out either with laundry or like cleaning up the apartment. But I try my best to just like do anything so we can just chill, because like, man, I crave time, you know, like as a fighter and stuff. It's a very harsh sport, and you have to like build yourself a wall of like, yeah, you know, this is what I do, and like aggressiveness and all that. But with her, it's like I need to be the opposite, man. Like I need to be gentle, I need to be caring, I need to be more reaffirmative with my emotions, and like and that's one of the things I had to learn a lot, because eventually, like, since I was like jumping from situationships and she's like my first girlfriend, I was never emotionally mature. You know, I was always like, I have to suck it up, you know, I'm the man. And obviously, like, growing like in a Mexican background, my dad was never that like machista to my mom, but like my grandparents maybe a little too much, you know. Like I saw that happen growing up, you know. My grandma was always in the kitchen, my grandpa was chilling, you know. And like so even then growing up, like emotions were always like mixed, and I never learned how to like be emotionally available until like I started dating her. And then I started asking my sister questions, you know, about like, because my sister is also like my like closest friend too, you know. And it was fun because we used to hate each other, but you know, sooner or later we were like, you know what, you're all right. And, you know, and then we started getting closer, and like, I mean, shit, she's family, you know, she's not gonna go nowhere. So I started like talking more about my emotions and stuff, and knowing like, hey man, your emotions are valuable, but so are mine, you know. And like, even though we don't have time, I'm trying my best to at least like pull up to whatever it is and show up for you, you know. And like, she has a lot of projects, you know, but they're not as major as like switching like her whole lifestyle. But she shows up for me for every single time, man. And like, she has never missed a fight except the first one, because we were barely talking. So she always jokes, she's like, I don't know if you were good enough or not. So you know, we still joke around.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, it's for sure
a lot. So it's just sacrifices for sure. Yeah,
a lot, dude. A lot of time management. And dude, think about it, you know, dates, they don't have to be surrounded by food all the time. You know, so I had to get creative, you know, like at least now that it's getting sunny, we go out to the park at least or something, you know, because my mom always told me, like, get up with it, you know, like, get up with it. And like, sometimes like we do bump heads, obviously, like it's natural in a relationship. And like, sometimes I bump my own head, she bumps her own head, you know, like but at the end of the day, it's mostly like, if you put in the effort, and this is a thing that she showed me a lot that nobody has ever showed me before, is like, if you put in the effort and you both are willing to work it out, it will work out, you know. And like, sometimes, yes, it's unhealthy, and sometimes you need to step back and be like, all right, cool, this is not it, you know. But you also have to like think about the wrongs you're doing, and then from there you're like, cool, you know, like, yeah, you know what, that was a dick of my part, you know. Like, sometimes I'll be like, hey, like, you did this, and you're like, come on now. Yeah. She'll be like, yeah, you're right. So it's a lot of understanding, dude, for sure, and communication. But I'm still working on it, man. I'm not perfect at all. So
And so it's like 2 years so far?
Or we will be, so we started dating in April 3rd, 2022. 22. Yeah.
So it'll be 2 years in April then.
Yeah. So closer enough. But we started talking, a while back, dude. And like, man, I've been hit so many times. And sometimes I forget our anniversary, dude. And funny enough, sometimes when our anniversary happens, I fight. So I really can't do much, dude. And like, I try to be as sweet as I can, write a letter. But sometimes I forget, dude. And like, I let her know, like, hey, like, I'm too focused on this, but just know, regardless of what day it is, I still love you the same. Yeah. You know, anniversary, wedding, fucking Wednesday afternoon, like, I love you, like,
type shit.
It's obviously it's important in the small details, but like,
no, for sure, bro. That's actually hilarious. You say you've been hitting the head too many times.
Yeah, dude. Fucking CTE is a real thing, man. CTE is a real thing.
Oh, okay. You could chime in if you want. These are dating questions, bro, and like, I'm sure you have an opinion, but I don't want to get you. Like,
no, go for it, dude. Go for it. No, me and my girl, like, we're pretty solid.
Yeah. How important is physical attraction in a relationship? Can you overlook it if someone has an amazing personality?
That's a good question. Now you want to look at me, huh?
we both looked at him. Like, what you gotta say, player?
I could say, like, just being 100, right? I think physical attraction, I think, is an initial thing all the time.
For sure.
Always, dude. Always.
Physical attraction's big, but there has been instances where like I wasn't initially attracted to someone like that, and then like you just kind of like talk to them, and like just after a while you kind of build like a little friendship with them, and they become more attractive, bro. Like, I definitely see how that's a thing, bro. So would you agree with that, or?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. That's it.
He's keeping it safe.
I got too much to say.
I'll put my 2 cents in there.
Yeah.
I feel like physical attraction also combines with health. You know, like for me, it's like, yeah, like a girl with like whatever they got, you know, like, all right, good for you. But at the end of the day, like, if you're not healthy, why would I want you, you know? And that's the thing that's sent out with my girlfriend, you know, like she's pretty, man. I'm not going to lie to you. And like, she also has like a very nice body and stuff, you know. Obviously, like I'm a simple man, but with good, with good taste.
Hell yeah,
you know, triple shot of espresso. But what's it called? Yeah, man, it's all like also the foundation of it, you know. Like, she's pretty, she has like an amazing like physical attribute, but at the end of the day, it's also like, how do you carry yourself, you know? Like, and for sure, like, if those two meet up midway, I'm good, you know. And from there, from the midway point, I was like, all right, cool, we can either start growing, you know.
Yeah.
Because the funny part is, like, when I met her, I had long hair, no facial hair, nothing, dude. And I was like, I feel like you're cheating on me. And, you know, I was like, how can you be attracted to me when I was look like that? And then we both started laughing. But man, like, physical appearances, sometimes they're gonna fade away.
Yeah.
They're always gonna fade away. fucking. And we make jokes about that all the time. We're like, are you gonna love me when I can't walk? I have to push my wheelchair, being all wrinkly and shit.
Yeah, so. Bro. That's a little scary. Low-key, I've always had a fear of getting old, bro.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I like this youth, bro. It's pretty dope.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
But, like, honestly, all the, like, the people in their 50s and 60s, not everybody, but you kind of get to a place where, like, you're very content, you know? If you did it right, you know?
Exactly.
There's for sure some angry ass motherfuckers out there.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'll be fighting 50-year-olds if I have to, man. Shit.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, bro. What age are like your opponents, bro? They're like any and every age.
I was
right?
telling this guy, I fought a professor before.
A legit like college or high school?
I think it was college or high school. I didn't get it like the full story, but I fought a college professor.
He was like 29 or 30 or something like that.
He was 30 for sure. I fought 29-year-olds. I fought. Sometimes I get like people my age, you know. But yeah, it's everything from the legal age of fighting, which is 18, all the way to whatever, man. Shit.
I mean, it's just all weight limited.
Yeah.
Imagine just thinking like I just beat this grown man's ass, bro. Yeah. Like, it's fucking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This dude has kids, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? Or no? Can you really be friends with an ex, or is it just asking for trouble?
Nah.
No, you can't.
That's straight up. Nah.
I mean, I don't really have exes like that, bro. So it's kind of hard for me to. But
like
just
situationships, let's say.
Yeah. I could definitely. I mean, I feel like you have some experience with this, bro.
That's fucked up. You just put him on the spot.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Essentially. I mean, bro. I mean, no. Like just saying that you've had like long relationships.
Yeah, you could be friends, but like I'm gonna say more like cordial. Like you can be cordial, not necessarily like friends to the point to where like. You guys legit like plan stuff as friends, or you know, you guys are doing stuff as
or like
friends,
you obviously
or
texting each other.
Friends, like text as friends, but like you guys can be cordial if you see them somewhere. Like that's about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's really like because
well, you have no reason to kind of like be
friends.
Yeah, you have no reason to kind of be in contact with them anymore.
Exactly.
Especially if you have like a girl, you know.
It's strange.
Exactly.
For sure. Do you believe in love at first sight?
Nah.
No,
I don't. I'm gonna skip on that. Because
love at first sight.
Because man,
it's just attraction at first sight.
Yeah,
for sure. I can see that attraction for sure. Because think about it, like, why would you walk up to a random girl without even seeing them? You know, like, you don't do that. You know, like, it's mostly like attraction first, and then you start building like an idea of like, all right, cool, this person's cool, this person's not. Then from there, it's decision making.
Yeah, especially. I think what you can fall in love with is like the idea of being with someone.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because I've fallen into that trap, bro. But then give me a few weeks of like not talking to them. It's like, all right, yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm back to it.
Yeah, but for sure, like you can definitely, especially have a good night with someone, bro. It's like
you fall in a rabbit hole of just like thinking about all this theoretical stuff in the future.
Yeah, type
just
shit.
Making stuff up. It's just like, man, we would look good if we had kids. And,
yeah.
You know, and that's where you're taking it too far.
Yeah, you go down a little rabbit hole sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what my sister always told me. Like, because she always gives me advice, especially like growing up, you know, like my parents were providing, but not like emotionally in a sense. But she always told me like the hardest quote unquote breakups are the ones that end like that. Why? Because you end up with the idea of like could have, should have, would have. But then I was like, all right, cool. So I took that advice to heart and like, but yeah, I can see where like you can like repeat that cycle and you're like, you know, but yeah, that's why I just stay living in the present. Stay living in the present.
Let's see. Should you date someone with different political or religious views? Does your girl have different like views than you?
Religion wise, we both have a different type of faith in a sense. Because when I met her, she was all about like, you know what I'm gonna say.
Astrology.
Yeah. See, it's just like you just have to look at me and you're like, yeah. Or like crystals and all that, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. I'll say that. Like when she was like cleansing them, like one time she gave me a blanket and she's like, she forgot it in my car or something. I was like, all right, cool. I took it home, but apparently like she cleansed her room. Dude, I kid you not, it was the best sleep of my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell happened? And I slept, as soon as I got home, I probably got home like around 9, slept all the way through. I got late to work. And I was like, what the hell did she give me? You know, like she roofied me or something. Like I started freaking out. And I was like, cool. But religion-wise, we both have different views, but it's it's nice to see her. Like for me, I don't pressure nothing on people. You know, that's my number one rule, because I wouldn't like nobody pressuring me on something, right? But I just show her the good of it. You know, like, hey, look, I'm at peace. I can provide for you, but I know like that third part you don't understand, and I know where you can find it. You know, and it's within faith. You know, and I believe in God and its whole like, I guess, purposes. You know, and like I'm not that great of a I guess like a follower in a sense, because I don't go to church that often. Obviously I have practice and stuff, but I do believe if I stay updated with whatever morals I have, and if I don't know something, I learn, and everything will be good, man. But yeah. I do believe though, like I would be able to date somebody with like same or different political views. I don't know about that, man, because like I'm really not that big into politics, because eventually, like, this is my perspective on politics. It's like this world is slowly ending, dude, and like being together, being different would not change like how I live my life tomorrow. So like you guys can focus on that, I'm gonna focus on this, and whatever affects me, I'm gonna handle it. You know what I mean? But even though us as Americans, like, we had to like, there's a lot of things, especially being in a border city, you don't even know what's going on anymore. You know? So
I never understood, like, I get people being into politics, bro, but like,
to argue, like, come on.
For it to be like, for it to have so much power over your life, where you're like watching the news and you're fucking getting pissed off at like Tucker Carlson or whoever the fuck is like on Fox News, or like, for real. It's just like, bro, how much is that really affecting you on your day to day, bro? Like, how much energy could you really be spending on like, yeah, go and fucking vote, right? Like, you should vote, but like at the end of the day, it's like, why are you spending so much time on what this person said or this person said, bro? It's like
a lot of it is lies too.
Yeah. At the same time, I don't know if I could really get down with a girl that's like super like, I mean, I think either on both sides, like super liberal, super right wing, but like, what if she was like a big Trump supporter, bro? Like, I just don't know if I could like super heavy. Yeah, like, I mean, she fucking wore the hat and like,
hey, I bought you a sticker. Can you put it on your truck?
Just know your name is Diego, dude. That's not gonna save you at all, man. Shit.
Type shit, bro.
Mexican name.
Yeah, for real. The funniest shit though is like when girls like believe in astrology, like, and it's cool, like I think it's super interesting, but like the funniest, it cracks me up, bro, when it's like they ask for your sign and she's like, I say Sag, she's like, I knew it. I was like, you're full of shit, bro. Like, I could have said something totally different. You would have still said, you know what, you do give me Virgo vibes, you know? Like, I just feel like it's just so much, like, you get what I'm trying to say,
so much power, dude. It's funny, but it's also like intimidating. You're like, how the hell can you be so invested, man?
For sure.
That's funny, dude.
How do you balance, I think we've talked about this before, how do you balance self-acceptance and self-improvement? Is there such thing as too much self-improvement?
Damn.
That's a golden question.
That's a great question,
because I feel like we live in a society now where, like, not to say it's too much of it, but like, for sure, like, there's a lot of like, especially on IG and stuff, like, or maybe it's just like my timeline, but I'm sure like a lot of people can relate, but it's definitely all over the place. So what are your opinions on
that? Every single loved one, you know, and that includes my family, my friends, they always tell me like, some support it, but some also like don't support it at all. Like, why are you so fucking hard on yourself? You know, and like, shit, like I tell them straight up, like, if you've been through the shit I've been, and you know, like, if you saw the stuff you did, or like I did, you know, like, I feel like being hard on yourself would be the nicest thing you could do to yourself. You know, obviously you reach a certain point where you're like, I can do nothing no more, you know, like physically or mentally, you know, like whatever it is, and that's when you start looking for other options. But waking up in a world with full of opportunity, like, why wouldn't you try to at least do something new, not even better, but something new, you know, or something productive? And that's one of the things that like I really emphasize a lot, because like even me, dude, I have my bad days, dude. Some like 2 weeks ago, dude, I got suplexed, you know, like horrible, and against the guy that like he never has taken me down whatsoever. And I was like, all right, cool, you know, like I got you, you know. I go again, I get suplexed twice. Damn. You know, like back to back. And I was like, all right, cool, this is it, you know. Like, then I started picking it up, whatever, and I like, all right, cool. Next day, dude, I got right on the mat, you know, and it was something new, you know. Like, I practice all sorts of martial arts, but like, for sure, self-improvement has to be good, and like, it has to be one of your basics for sure if you want to be good, at least in something. You know?
I agree with that. What about you?
Yeah, it's big, man. It's something I battle with a lot too. Is self-acceptance and self-improvement. But I think you just need to find that balance of where, you know, when you're trying to tackle on self-improvement and you're doing what you have to do, you have to give yourself that credit for what you're doing, essentially. You know, that's like the biggest part. So like, don't be too hard on yourself, where even when stuff goes wrong, you still showed up, you still put in the work, you still put in the time, like you were there. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just giving yourself credit for the small wins, you know. So
Yeah,
that's good.
I would agree with both of that. Yeah, it's really just I think it can just go too far when it's like that's all you're focused about, bro. Like there's more. Sometimes there's more to life than that. I think, especially when it starts to get in the way of like your family and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, you're gonna have to make sacrifices and everything, but it's like at the end of the day, certain things disappear out of your life, and like you just realize that the most important thing you have is like family, bro. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Like your friends, your family. Because like, for example, this social media shit can disappear, bro. I could have nowhere to post these podcasts, bro. And what's left, bro? Like exactly. What do we have? You know, at least you can still beat someone's ass, bro. Like what the fuck am I gonna do, right?
Hey, you can run.
Yeah, exactly. I go on a run, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna look the good on it, but
type shit. But
I always agree on that, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
Actually, I think we can end on that, bro. I like that. That's a good.
That's a good statement. Right
yeah,
there.
For sure. But yeah, bro. I mean, you got that fight coming up, March 30th. Definitely a drive. I mean, it's not a far drive, bro. So I definitely. It's on a Saturday.
Saturday. Yep.
Saturday. We should definitely plan to make it up there.
Yeah. Where's the fight at again?
It's
Albuquerque,
but the place it's called Revel. So it's like a little mini convention center. So they started off at a gym. You know, that was my first ever fight, the first ever knockout. And then same promotion, they just got bigger, so they got like a little bit more of a space. And like, dude, it's fun. It's kind of like it's a good place to be, especially like people drink.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was telling you last time, this drunk person was trying to fight me after my fight, you know. And I was like limping and shit. I was like, bro, like, and like whatever, you know. But people drink, people have a good time, and obviously just see like a lot of action. But it's fun, man, because at the end of the day, we all leave with a good like sense of like, you know, we did good. You know, we brought good friends, good family, and I'm always like in the opposite. You know, I'm always the outsider, so it's always good to see people there that are like truly like I know and like support me. You know?
Do you celebrate your fights? Like after?
Slightly, not too much, because I know I'm not even big yet. You know, I'll celebrate them a little bit more, but like not even big, dude. Like I've never been the person to like go all out, you know, and shit.
You just have a nice meal and like just,
dude, I keep it simple. For example, last fight I celebrated. Let's see, it was Arizona. We got some In-N-Out. Went back to the hotel, watched some shows, went to sleep, and came right back.
Yeah,
dude, I was happy, man. Yeah. I was happy. I had a cool like little photo session, like training, good pictures, fighting, and like that's all I need, man. Just promoting myself day in day, and like just getting bigger as we talk, man.
Do you drink or not much?
I do. I like to drink. So, it's funny because like even after I weigh in, I drink one beer because of the yeast. My coach explains it better than me, but it opens up your stomach a little bit more so you can actually start eating and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And like it helps like kind of like mineral water, but obviously like you get a little buzz, you get a little happy, and obviously like weight cuts are sometimes not fun. So you want to have fun with your teammates, you know, with your friends and with your family. So I drink here and there, but not to the point I like to black out. I was never that for point. Sure. Yeah.
No, that's dope. I mean, we were just talking about this the other day, bro, where it's like for our birthdays, we were just like, honestly, next, because we went out, we both went out on our birthdays, and it was fun, bro. Like we drank, we got like messed up. I mean, we had fun, bro.
Of course.
But we were just talking about like, bro, I think going forward, like I'm just gonna kick it, bro. Like not that it was an empty feeling, but it was more so like, bro, I'd much rather just like. I wanted, like, my brother and sister weren't even here, bro. Like, granted, I celebrated a little bit with them the day before, but it was just like, next time, bro, I'm gonna pull up. We're gonna be at the crib. Like, I want to have like everybody there and just chilling, bro. Like, it was just. I feel like it's just a little bit more like fulfilling in a way, you know.
Of course, of course. And like, you always want to, like, for example, drinking, or in any like matter, like whatever you do or whatever vice it is. Everything is not that bad as long as you control it. You know, drinking and stuff. Because I grew up also with like a lot of like drinking stuff. and like all that, you know, like bad stuff. And I was like, oh, man, like I don't want to do that, you know. So I feel like just like balancing it, man, you could be having a good time. Like I'm not gonna be here and lying to you like, oh, I don't drink. Nah, dude, like it's good to have fun here and there, especially like, you know. But I always tell myself, oh, I just want to remember it, you know.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to shit and then feel like shit next day.
Exactly. Yeah. Hell yeah. So, that fight March 30th, and
March
people
30th.
can follow you on Victor Santillan.
.MMA. What I do, baby.
Hell yeah.
That's
And not just the UFC, not just like the fighting, bro, but just like your content for,
it's lit.
It's really dope, bro.
I've seen your videos, bro. That's hard.
I appreciate it,
you do a really good job, bro, and just popping off, bro.
That? Who films that for you?
This dude right here.
That's all you?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Dang.
I don't even, because I always like been interested into like photography and like not even photography like taking pictures, but mostly like graphic designing, you know. So putting things together and like building something from scratch.
Yeah.
And like I remember my first video, I was like, how do I do this, you know? Because eventually like I had another Instagram account which is just like personal, you know. I would post myself and stuff, and I'll be so like nervous to even post a picture of me, you know, like those jitters. You're like, oh, who's gonna like it? And at this point, I just got to the point like I'm doing this because I want to be known or recognized and like doors to open, you know. So yeah, man, it's all me, you know, and I just get a lot of inspiration from like even other people on Instagram, and I try not to look a lot because eventually like I'm gonna waste my whole day there. But from this dude right here, man, like he opened the doors for like a whole different venue. So yeah, dude, it's on me, different angles and all, but it's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, he just got into Final Cut too.
Yeah.
On the iPad. You said the iPad, right?
Yeah.
The iPad?
Yeah.
So I tried it for a little bit. I was so confused.
Dude, it's confusing. Dude, I saw so many videos in YouTube. It's not even funny, man. I saw some in Spanish. I was like, chinga, you know. Like, I'm like cussing English.
Did you learn a lot? Were they really helpful? Or?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I wanted to, one of the videos I did, I wanted to see how like you can actually zoom in without like having, you know. Because before I used to like.
Bro, I saw those little pans in you had. And that shit was fire. Yeah.
So it took me so much, dude. It took me like 2 days, and I was like, if this motherfucker can do it, I have to do it. You know, like I know he figured it out, but how? Yeah. So I just went to animations and stuff, and like how, you know, because what I used to do before, I used to like screen record and just like manually, you know, do it and stuff. Yeah. But even though like you know, you figure it out. You know.
Do you
like,
have a laptop? No,
I don't.
So just the iPad.
Yeah.
That, I mean, if you find that working, bro, I mean, that's pretty dope.
But the laptop is where you go.
I say the laptop just because I know how to do it on the laptop.
Yeah.
And but he has both. So like he had Final Cut.
I asked him though to help me with the iPad. And he was like,
bro, I was
lost. It's a whole different ball game, bro.
Yeah.
It's not the same. You'd think it'd be like the same.
It's the same idea, but I was just trying to like I knew what I needed to do. I was just trying to find the controls to do it. Like I just didn't know where certain things were placed.
Yes, dude. Yes.
So that's the only thing I had trouble with. But yeah, I mean, yeah, bro, your content's fucking.
Thank you, dude.
I saw a difference, bro. Like in that video, I was like, yo, like he's picking this shit up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
But we'll definitely. I definitely want to check out that gym, bro. One of these days.
Dude.
Yeah, I would.
More
love
than
to
welcome,
go.
dude.
Yeah.
I had the keys for that place, so. And I'm there since like 5 a.m. So
yeah, definitely go get a workout.
I'll be there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But you got anything, Curry?
You know what? I do have one question, bro, and this is back to wrap up on your fighting, bro.
All right.
It just really sparked my interest, bro, because this is one thing that I've always thought about, like with fighters. But does it ever scare you what you're capable of? Like, do you ever feel bad for your opponent or like messing them up? You know, like send them to the hospital. Is that a real thing? Do you feel that, or is it just what you do at this point?
So, it kind of like I look like if I'm contradicting myself, right? If I say I'm this good person and I have a lot of faith and I do all this good, but then I do this sport where I hurt people, you know, and it's like, how the hell did I go from being here to being here, you know? And I pray before my fight for God to, one, forgive me for what I'm about to do, and second of all, to give me the blessings that I have to get. You know, and that being said, like win, lose, or draw, whatever he calls, that's a shot, you know. I'm going to just go out there and do my best. And I just pray also for me to step out the cage healthy, you know. And like, I sometimes get scared for what I can do because I've never fought angry. You know, I've never fought like, I want to kill this motherfucker. You know, like never. It has never reached to that point. So I'm scared of like knowing that I know how to fight, and it gets to the point like where like, not even like somebody hurts I loved one, you know, like I'm pretty sure like I would still control myself by then. But like obviously like, when it comes to the extremes like of death or like kidnap or something, you know, like something like ugly, you know, something tragic, I'm not so sure like, because eventually like to be a fighter, I'm not gonna lie to you, like to be a fighter you have to be a little mentally like ill, you know, like you have to be a little bit on the edge of like insane, because eventually you are putting yourself through like hell, you know, and it's uncomfortable, but at the end of the day I do see that I just do this sport because I love it and I'm passionate, you know. And I heard this is like passion will always be talent, or like obsession will always be talent, and like I feel like I have both. You know, I feel like I have both, and I feel like just having that vision and that like empowerment, like it not only makes me dangerous, but it also makes me somebody to look up to. You know?
That's fire.
Hell yeah.
That's fire.
Episode 32.
Hell yeah.
The most vulnerable player
shit,
with Victor Santillan. That was a cool. That was 2 hours, bro.
Damn.
2 hours and 18 minutes.
That's
That's probably our longest pod, bro. Yeah.
To what?
That's probably our longest pod. 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Hey.
Granted, there was a few like I went to the restroom, but yeah, damn near 2 hours, bro.
I didn't even feel like 2 hours, if I'm being honest. Yeah.